It's 8 p.m. in Austin, Texas. All amateur radio traffic, please stand by. The Oak Hill Thursday Night Net is about to begin. If there's any emergency or priority traffic, please come with your name and call sign now. Nothing heard. Well, it might be a quick net tonight, man. It has been crickets in the Discord. Nobody wants to net control. Nobody wants to do questions or news. I guess everybody's busy tonight, so we'll see what happens. Y'all are stuck with me. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so I figured I'd go ahead and do this tonight. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Call sign N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'll be your net control for tonight. I'm transmitting from my QTH in Northwest Austin to the flagship 147-320 repeater. We've been having some weird problems and some crackling and popping, so we're going to see if that's the case tonight. So y'all let me know how my audio sounds and all that kinds of fun stuff. You can also check in on Echolink using K5TMT-R or KA5D-R. And you can also check in on Allstar via node 51444. 51444. For a list of all the repeaters, frequencies, and everything that comes along with the Thursday Night Net, visit n5oak.org and click on the All-Star tab. We also have the welcome team standing by waiting to approve your club memberships as well as requests to join the Discord community. If you're not part of the Discord, that's where all the fun is for the most part. While we're at work and we can't play on the repeaters, Discord's it. So we have to approve your account. If you're hanging out there and you want to get in, now is a great time because we have lots of eyes on the Discord and we can get you approved sooner than later. Tonight's net is a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in times or comment times. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, or just hang out with the club. If you're new to ham radio or you're just new to the net, the Thursday Night Net is a social gathering and a great way to get your feet wet and meet the club. You don't have to be a club member to join in on tonight's fun. Any and all licensed operators are welcome to participate. It's very easy to check into the net tonight as well. In just a bit, I'll ask for check-ins and take down a list of all stations who want to participate. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time and give each of you the floor. Feel free to ask questions, tell us something you've been working on, or just say hi. Just so you know what to expect, this is typically how the net goes. We start off the net with short time check-ins for those of you that can't stick around until the end. Then we continue on with exam questions, ham radio news, followed by club announcements and regular check-ins. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry, we'll grab you on the next round. So with all that said, I'm going to do another quick ID, and we will jump into short time check-ins. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N50AK. My name is Rusty. My call sign is WZ5BBS, and I am your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m., and for more details about the club or to join and become a member, visit us online at n5oak.org. All right, it's time for short time check-ins. If you want to check in and get on the log but don't have any comments tonight, just say no traffic. I won't take general comments from the short timers, and if you check in as a short timer and later you want to rejoin the net, feel free to do a recheck. To check into tonight's net, please state your name clearly and slowly. When giving your call sign, please use standard ITU phonetics if you know them. This gives everybody the opportunity to learn them, and it makes it easier for me, net control. I think I've got Ernesto standing by to give you an example of how to check in tonight. So, Ernesto, if you're out there, show everybody how it's done.
This is Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, Ernesto.
And that's how it's done right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, with that done, let's get tonight's net started. If you want to check in short time, please come with your name and your call sign now.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
This is November 5, Alpha Fox Charlie, Jared, East Austin.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee India Alpha, Marshall in far South Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha India Golf, green, no traffic.
J5AIJ, I didn't get your name. Can you come again, please?
Green, like the color.
Green like the color. Is this green like Jason's friend Green?
You got it. I got my license last week.
Yay! Alright, sweet. We got Green as a freaking ham radio guy. Alright, well this is very fun. Alright, we'll keep this going. If y'all want to check in short time, come with your name and call sign.
This is Whiskey 5 Tango November, David in Dripping Springs.
So I've learned a little trick from our UT and A&M kiddos. They leave these longest pauses and just make you kind of wonder if everybody disappeared. And I like that. So I'm gonna keep doing that. All right, so here we go. We have short time check-ins. We got Ken, KI6HQT. He said no traffic. Ken, it's always good to have you in on the short time, man. Thanks for checking in. We got Jared, N5AFC. He did not say no traffic. Jared, where have you been, man?
Oh, the night shift has been crushing my soul, but I am back now, and I'm not short time tonight. I just checked in on the wrong place because I'm on the phone too. N5AFC.
Well, sweet. You'll check in twice then. We'll save you a spot over in the regular check-ins as well. And we get to ask you the question. We got Marshall, KI5YIA. He said no traffic. Marshall, I sent you an email with the Discord link. I just wanted to make sure that you got it.
Rusty, I did get it. I just haven't had a chance to pull it up. I've been pretty busy, but I've got it. Thank you.
No rush and take your time. I just wanted to make sure that it found its way to you. So, fantastic. We will be here at any time. So let us know when we can get you in there. Let's go talk to Green. KJ5AIG. Dude, welcome to Ham Radio, finally. And you finally got your call sign, dude. That's great. So I haven't looked it up yet. Are you a technician? Are you a general? Or do you just go like straight for extra?
Technician, because I took it online and they'll only do one class at a time. So I'll go back for general probably in the next week or two, whenever I have.
Very cool, man. Well, just so you know, we're doing testing at our next club meeting. It's our very first testing. It's all electronic, and that's April 22nd. So if you want to come hang out with all the nerds at the meeting, after that you can come and we'll let you do your general and your extra as much as you want. So come play with us. Go to the website n5oak.org and click on Get Licensed, and you can sign up there and give us your money and get a spot. And man, I would love to have you in class. That would be awesome if we couldn't get you your general and your extra license. Well, welcome to Ham Radio, man. Hopefully we will see you around sooner than later. And yeah, I'll have to tell Jason that you checked in if he doesn't check in later. Let's go talk to David, W5TN. David's out in Dripping Springs. How are you, sir? How's your week been?
Doing pretty good. And I just wanted to check in and say congratulations to the new ham radio operator. That was my only traffic for tonight.
Well, that's mighty nice of you, sir. And yeah, we love all our new people. It's been fun. I just recently have been a VE. I'd say in the last 6 months, 6 to 8 months, and it's so much fun to see everybody get excited about taking tests and then getting their license and then seeing them on the repeater. So yeah, everybody welcome. Green, KJ5, AIG, and Green. Go get in the Discord, man, because that's where all the fun is. All right. Well, that was our first round of short time check-ins. Let's see if anybody wants to check in with us after this. We got round 2 of short time check-ins right now. If you want to play, come with your name and call sign.
This is Kilo 5 Victor Bravo Charlie, Kevin in East Austin, no traffic.
We can't let Kevin be the only one in round 2. Anybody else want to come in on the short time check-ins? I need your name and call sign. Randy would be so proud of me not quit King. All right, well, we got Kevin with no traffic. K5VBC. I can't believe you don't have any traffic. I haven't heard you on the repeater either, man, so you need to get in here and come chat some more. Well, I guess that's going to do it for our short time check-ins. I'm going to do one more time. If you want to get in on the short time list, come with your name and call sign now. Otherwise, we're going to move on. Well, sounds like old Kevin's it. Well, before we get into regular check-ins, we're going to review a question or two from the FCC's current general exam pool. If you have a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. If you've already passed your general exam, it's always a good thing to review the material in preparation for your extra license. So, let's get into question number 1, and here's where we go. Which of the following statement is true of the single sideband voice mode? Which of the following statements is true of the single sideband voice mode? Alpha, only one sideband and the carrier are transmitted. The other sideband is suppressed. Bravo, only one sideband is transmitted. The other sideband and carrier are suppressed, which is exactly what A was as well. That's interesting. Charlie, single sideband is the only voice mode that is authorized on the 20-meter, 15-meter, and 10-meter amateur bands. Our Delta, single sideband is the only voice mode that is authorized on 160, 75, and 40-meter amateur bands. So we're going to open it up to technicians. A and B were different. I'm going to read those again because I might have got y'all. Alpha is only one sideband and the carrier are transmitted. The other sideband is suppressed. Bravo is only one sideband is transmitted. The other sideband and carrier are suppressed. So, If you are a technician and you want to play along, come with your name, call sign, and your choice.
KI5 ZTW Blake, 5 watts in Spicewood. Hopefully it's not too staticky. Bravo.
5 watt, you are not staticky. Got you down for Bravo, Blake. Anybody else want to play along that's a technician?
KJ5 AGH, Tony in South Austin. Bravo.
Is that KJ5 ACH correct?
Alpha Golf Hotel.
Alpha Golf Hotel. All right, Tony, thank you, sir. Anybody else? We got any other technicians want to play along with us? Well, be that way. All right, we're going to open it up to anybody and everybody that has a license. If you want to play in tonight's first question, come with your call sign and your answer.
KI5PZN, Bravo.
KI5ZIE, Bravo.
All right, we got 2 more in for Bravo. Anybody else want to give us a different answer by chance, since I'm not playing? I don't understand CW, but I'm pretty sure the repeater said Alpha. That's what that said. All right, so which of the following statement is true of the single sideband voice mode? The correct answer is Bravo. Bravo is it. Only one sideband is transmitted. The other sideband and carrier are suppressed. So there you have it. Thanks to everybody that played. Let's go to question number 2. When sending CW, what does a C mean when added to the RST report? Do that again. When sending CW, what does a C mean when added to the RST report? Alpha, chirpy or unstable signal. Bravo, report was read from an S meter rather than estimated. Charlie, 100% copy, or Delta, key clicks. So, if you are a technician and want to play in tonight's game, come with your call sign and your answer.
KI5 ZTW Blake, Alpha.
KJ5 AGH, Alpha.
All right, we got Blake and we got a Tony. Any other technicians out there want to come play? Doesn't sound like it. All right, if you have a general or an extra or a technician, if you have a license, come with your call sign and your answer.
KI5PZN, I think Alpha was paying a lot of attention, but put me there for Alpha.
All right, we got Ernesto in for Alpha. Anybody else want to play along? I should have queued up a cricket soundtrack for this one. All right, so when sending CW, what does a C mean when added to the RST report? The correct answer is Alpha. We got a bunch of smart people in the club. It means that your signal is chirpy or unstable. So if somebody sends a C on the end of your report, it means you're a little chirpy. Well, there we have it. That is our questions for tonight. Thanks to everybody for playing along. For those of you that don't know what's going on, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS, and I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m., and for more details about the club, learn how to join, send us some cash, we would certainly love that, or join us on the Discord, head over to n5oak.org, and we will have all of your answers right there. So this is typically when we do our news and nuggets segment, and we do some ham radio news, but I think unless, I'm going to look at the Discord again, yep, nobody signed up for this. So we're going to open up the floor and see if anybody has any ham radio news that they would like to share with us. If you have any news or nuggets or anything fun, we got announcements and club stuff coming later, but if you have anything fun and ham radio news-wise, give me your call sign and let's chat.
Yeah, 5PZN.
Ernesto?
I grabbed an article from, I forgot the name of this guy, because I grabbed it and ran from there. But it's the one that comes out every Friday, the Newsline. There we go, the Newsline, the amateur Newsline, or something along those lines. And it is an article. It's I'm gonna read it. Let me reset, but I'm gonna read it real quick. Just one short one. Imagine an antenna that stands over 7 stories tall. It's 30 feet wide and contains 110 tons of stainless steel, bronze, and steel. Well, it's not really an antenna. It's a sculpture on the campus of the University of New York State. But for just one day in March, it helped log a contact on 20 meters cell MB KB3T explained. The sculpture is called the Sentinel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. And by all account, it is the largest sculpture to stand on any university campus in the United States. It recently morphed into a 20-meter antenna that helped log a successful contact using FT8 on 5 watts. Experiments are a way of life at the Rochester Institute of Technology in upstate New York, and so members of the amateur radio club K2GXT couldn't resist giving in into the long simmering temptation of turning the Sentinel from a symbolic campus garden into somewhat artful messenger. The hams first checked the setup with a nano VNA and then let those 5-watt loose, keeping onlookers at the safe distance while they transmitted. A report by one of the club members on Reddit said, quote, "With the help from our university health and safety team, we did this today. We were able to be heard almost across the entire eastern half of the U.S., at least according to PSK reporter, despite some less than amazing band conditions. While this is the first such attempt by the club, and happily a successful one, the story doesn't end there. The club members wrote that we really are impressed with the result, and we hope to do this again with better conditions in the future. The sculpture cost $800,000 when it was installed 20 years ago. So they said it might be more cost effective next time to just toss a wire into a tree. I got something else. Hold on 1 second. Right, and they are also giving us a reminder. Let's see. We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being the recipient of this year's amateur radio newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. That's long. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on the website. That's arnewsline.org. Now I know. Under the YHOTY tab, and nominations are open, and they will close on May the 31st. Sorry about the bad reading. I just printed this out, and I didn't read it first, so that's what you get. All right, well, back to net control. This is KI5PZN.
Thanks, sir, for making that happen, getting us some news in there. That's always fun when you hear new different things. And yeah, the Yoda, the youngsters on the air. I wonder if we have any under 18 in the UT club. I might be kind of pushing it. Well, very cool, man. Anybody else got any other ham radio news that they would like to share with us? Come with your name and call sign. All of these pregnant pauses are brought to you by KC3 NAG, Randy. He's the one that's been yelling at me about my quick keying, and rightfully so. So, Randy, I'm pausing the nets for you, man. I hope you're out there listening and lurking, or working and lurking, working while you're lurking. That's what Ernesto says. He's working while he's lurking. All right, well, it's time for club announcements, and the first one is this. We're up to 515 members. Look at us go. We got 3 brand new members since last Thursday. The first one of those being Mike, K5RFT. Good to have you officially in the logbooks there, Mike. We got Anthony, K5YYF, and Terry, N5RTC. So if you see them in the Discord or on the repeater, make sure that you welcome them here. 515 members, man. This club just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Our next club meeting is going to be at 10 a.m. April 22nd at the Austin branch of the Austin Public Library. You can check out the website on the meeting channel and Discord for all the details. We've got George, K5TR, as our guest speaker. And for those of you that don't know, George is a monster contester and has been in ham radio, I think, as long as I've been alive. So he is a great wealth of knowledge and has all kinds of fun stories. So if you don't know George, it will be fascinating to say the least. So come and hang out with us and listen to George recant all of his fun ham radio stories. We will also have a club raffle table. We did this last meeting, and it went really well. If you've got stuff you're not using, projects you're never going to finish, stuff you want to get out of your house so that you can buy more stuff, bring it to the club meeting, and we will give everybody that walks through the door gets a raffle ticket, and everybody will get a prize. Everybody got a present last time, and we still had stuff left over. So bring your stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. We had switches and packet stuff and pins and T-shirts from Flex Radio, so all kinds of stuff. To donate rid of or have an excuse to, go buy something new, the raffle table at the meeting would be a great spot for it. Also, at the end of our next club meeting is our very first club testing session, and that again is at April 22nd. It's if you don't have your license or if it's time to upgrade, it is now have to happen. Are we having some fun over here?
K5PZN.
Alright, I just flopped over to the 775. What's going on?
Just for a second, your transmission got all distorted there. I couldn't understand a thing. It was just like a weird distortion. But it didn't last too long, but it was not the typical stuff that we usually hear.
All right, well, so now we're over on the 775. Am I sounding all right now?
It only lasted a couple of seconds, but it was just, just letting you know, just in case you're doing something different with your radio.
W5LUL.
I wasn't doing anything different. So I think we've been having some weirdness on the 320. Y'all keep your ears open, and by all means, post it in the Discord if something goes wonky. We should have Rick. Well, I wonder if Rick can hear that on the recording. Well, yeah, probably, because I was going through the 320. All right, well, we'll keep moving. Y'all post your audio stuff in, and let me know what's going on. So at the next club meeting, we will also have a testing session. You can register online now to reserve your spot at n5oak.org. Just click on the Get Licensed tab. If you have any questions, reach out on the Get Licensed channel in the Discord or get in touch with Philip, AC5G. You can find his email address. It is plastered all over the Get Licensed page, or you can ping him on the Discord as well. We also have a club brunch coming up on April 8th in Kyle at the Texas Pie Company. This is going to be a fun one. Scott, KI5OBD, set this up for us. Details are on the web and in the social meetups channel on Discord. And, the easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar. You can head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab to make it happen. It's the easiest way, and then all these things that I put on the calendar will magically show up. So I think unless my Discord is behind, we got some doubles or something going on. But I'm Net Control, so I win. Yay! All right, it's time for Fox News, and I'm wondering if Ernesto, KI5PZN, can tell us anything about the fox hunt that he put on last weekend. Ernesto, are you out there?
KI5PZN, yes sir, I'm out here. And yes, so I put the fox, I hosted the fox last weekend, and I hit the fox across the street from this new skate park on Manor Road between Airport Boulevard and 51st Street, across the street from the park. We had quite a bit of people looking for the fox. And let's see, I have here the log, and the people that signed the log was Matthew, KN4LRA, David, KG5UBB, Young, KI5TIA, Rusty, WZ5BBS, Rick, AI5JT, John, KE5RS, and Diane, Paul, KA5FZU, let me let it reset, Georgine, KF5KLG, Sky, N5LX, Jeffrey, KI5MVF, and Ashley. So we got quite a few people out there last weekend. That was pretty good. I know I heard the guys talking about hosting a Fox this weekend, but I'm not sure yet who is going to be hosting the Fox. It's between a couple of people, but sounds like at least one is going to be happening this weekend, so keep an eye on the Fox channel on Discord. And to get there, if you're not there already, go to n5oak.org and scroll down and join the Discord, and you'll get to see the Fox Hunt channel, and that's where we keep all the information of what's happening with the Fox. So looking forward to it, looking forward to the weekend and the Fox Hunt. This is KI5PZN, back to Net Control.
All right, I'm back on the 320, so we'll see if we can't summon some more aliens there for Holly. Dude, I had a blast last weekend. I got to go hang out with the UT Club, and it was a whole lot of fun. We met up at Old Man Breakfast at Waterloo, like they do every Saturday at 8 a.m., and had breakfast with all the fellas, and then I broke off. I was with Matthew, KN4, LRA, Young, KI5, TIA, and David, KG5UBB, and we went fox hunting. It was their first fox hunt, and man, we had a blast. It took us a little over an hour to find it, and as soon as we got to the skate park, I knew, because Ernesto's a skater, so I knew, I was like, it's got to be around here somewhere. So I had a fall on that, man. Thanks for making that happen. And then if y'all weren't tuning in yesterday, the UT Club totally got pranked on their net. I heard something. I don't know if I timed out the repeater, but we're having some fun tonight.
Comment.
Come on in, comment.
Yeah, King George 5, dead right there. I've been listening, and I heard that time there was some type of like automated sounding voice in part of that transmission that went in over you, Rusty.
Well, it didn't sound like the repeater timeout, so we might have some crickets playing ham radio in the tower. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate it. Let's see. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So the Wednesday night net for the UT Club. The UT Club and the A&M Club have been getting dialed in for Monday nights for their net and then Wednesday night for the UT net. And the A&M guys took over. It was a typical college prank. The A&M guys took over the UT net and just started it. And we had the A&M guys call in the net, and it lasted a little over an hour, so it was a fun net. But it's good to see the college kids getting out there, having a good time, and playing ham radio and keeping the repeaters alive. So hopefully y'all got to check in on Wednesday. So with that, we're going to move over to our TriviaNet updates. And for all the new people that are out there, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club has a TriviaNet right here every Friday at 9 p.m. We had 44 players last week. Last week's winner was Sky, N5LX. He came in first place with 1,603 points. Way to go, Sky. Scott, KI5OBD, coming in second with 1,384 points. And Kent, KI5RVT, in the number 3 spot. Those were the top 3 for the game. The elimination round, Philip, AC5G, won that one. He made it all the way to question number 3. And as far as the player rankings go, Alan, KB5VKP, is still in the number 1 spot. Karin, KI5ZPA, in the number 2 spot. And Kent, KI5RBT, in the number 3 spot. Anyone can play. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. The bingo starts at 8:30, so y'all have something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. I'll put all the details and a link in the Thursday Night Net Discord channel. To check out the player rankings, stats, net logs, or for any more information about the Friday Night TriviaNet, head over to n5oak.org and click on the TriviaNet tab. If anyone else has any announcements they would like to add, now would be a great time. Come with your name and call sign. Nothing heard? All right, well, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net, and our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m., and for more details about the club, to become a member, donate money, or visit us online at n5oak.org. I will be looking for regular check-ins shortly. No membership is required. Any licensed operator is welcome to check into the net. New hams are encouraged to check in, so if you're a new ham, we would love to hear from you. Tonight's question is, what got you into ham radio? What got you into ham radio? Y'all start thinking about that. It's officially time for regular check-ins, and y'all know the drill. We're going to change it up just a little bit, so y'all pay attention. We are going to take anybody that is new. If you just got your license, or if you've never checked into the net before, we want to talk to you first. So if you just got licensed or you've never checked in, now is the time to come and chat with us. So get in here with your name and your call sign and come say hello. New licensees are people that have never checked in. Let's hear you.
KI5 Zulu Yankee Tango.
This is November 5 Sierra, Mike Oscar, Bill, North Austin.
This is November 5 Alpha Fox, Charlie, East Austin, Garrett.
All right, y'all are terrible at listening. If you just got licensed or you've never checked into the net before, go with your name and call sign now. All right, enough of that. Sounds like we got all the new people on the list. If you want to check into round number 1 of regular check-ins, anybody and everybody, come with your name and call sign.
Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November.
KI-5 Zulu Yankee Tango.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Golf Hotel, Tony in South Austin.
This is November 5 AFC, finally off the phone and paying attention.
This is Kilo India 5 Zulu India Echo, John, North Austin.
Well, it's looking like that's where we're going to stop. Let's go back up to the top, round 1 of our regular check-ins. Kilo India 5 Zulu Yankee Tango. You are the first person on my list. I don't know that you've ever checked in on a Thursday night, but give us your name and tell us what got you into ham radio.
KI-5ZYT, my name is Buzz. This is actually the very first call I've made on radio.
No way!
Yes, it is, and actually it was my son who was hiking the trails in Sunset Valley and wanted to be able to talk to me when he was out hiking. So I passed my technician's test about 2 weeks ago and finally have gotten on and said something.
Well, I think it doubled up there with you, but very cool, man. So have you joined us in on the Discord? We need to get you on our Discord so that you can come and ask all the questions and let us help you into your ham radio journey.
Well, great. I'm not exactly sure what Discord is.
Well, Discord is just it's an app you can get on your phone, or it's a web page you can go hit on your web browser, and it's where we all go. It's where we all chat. It's a bunch of typing and chatting, and everything's broken out into channels and all the different kinds of things about ham radio. So if you go to our website, n5oak.org, from there you can join. We highly recommend that you join. It's absolutely free to join, so go put your name and your call sign in there, and you will be an official member of the club. And then if you scroll down on any of the pages to the very bottom, you'll see a little purple Discord, and you'll see everybody's name, and you'll see a button that says Join Discord. If you click on that Join Discord button, that will get you into our Discord, and that is the greatest place. That's where all the brain trust is hiding, and man, you can ask us a bazillion questions in there, and I can't recommend it enough.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I've been looking for, and I'm going to do that tonight after we finish this net.
Hot dog. All right, well, we got Buzz, KI5ZYT with us. Anybody want to come in and say hi to Buzz?
Hey, Buzz. This is Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, Randy. Welcome to the group, man. It's like really good to hear you. Definitely check out the website. There's like so many friendly people here. KC3 NEG, back to you, man.
Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you guys.
Don't be afraid to get in any time of day. I'm a night owl. You can catch me here. Anyway, KC3 NEG, back to net control.
And yes, Randy is correct. We're here all times of the night and day, and you can definitely come say hi. Anybody else want to get in and chat with Buzz, KI5ZYT, while we got him here?
KI5ZTW, congrats, Buzz. I'm right behind you. I've been about 2 months a ham and getting to learn lots of stuff every day and meeting great people. And welcome to the net, KI5ZTW Spicewood.
KI5ZYT, thanks.
All right, so I think I doubled with you when I was asking the question. So, what got you into ham radio?
Well, it was my adult son who likes to hike the trails in Sunset Valley in their green area. My house backs up to that, and he was wanting to talk to me while he was hiking with the dog.
Cool. Is your son new to ham radio as well? Is he? We need to get him in the club with you.
I'm going to see what I can do. He originally got in for Part 97 for flying drones, and I'm going to see if I can't get him to get on the radio.
Well, very cool, man. And, just so you know, the next club meeting is April 22nd. It's at the House and Branch of the Austin Public Library, which is right just south of Camp Mabry. So, man, we would love to have you and come hang out. We're also doing a testing session. So if it's time to upgrade, if you want to get your general or your extra, we can totally help you out with that. Anybody else got anything for Buzz before we let him go?
India 5, Zulu India Bravo. You're sounding pretty good on the repeater right now, so I'm curious what kind of radio you've got going on there.
I've actually got a barrel thing, one of the little small HTs.
Very cool. Yeah, that's what I started with as well, and now I'm thousands of dollars deeper in the hole. Back to net control, KI5ZIB.
Oh, Buzz, you just helped us out there, man. Everybody is always afraid to tell us that they're on a Baofeng because they're cheap, and it's like the gateway drug to ham radio. But you just proved a point. Even a cheap HT sounds good. So congrats on that. Ernesto, I heard you in there. KI5PZN, go ahead.
KI5PZN here. Hey man, I just want to welcome you to the club and to ham radio. Really happy that you got your license, and like the guys were saying, we're usually hanging out with the repeater, so whenever you're around, you just put your call out there and you'll hear one of the one of the barbarians. So welcome to the club again, and welcome to ham radio. This is KI5PZN.
Thanks all so much. Like I say, I can't wait to finally meet some of you guys in person and ask some questions and get my credit card out to get a larger radio. And so I'm planning on coming to that next meeting of the club, and I'll see you there. KI5ZYT over the net.
Fantastic, man. Go join. If you go join us on the Discord, I will pester the crud out of y'all about when the next meeting is and updates and all that. So seriously, go do the Discord. N5OAK.org. Welcome, Buzz. Good to have you. Next on the list is Bill, N5SMO. Mr. Bill, how you been, man?
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. So sorry I jumped the gun, man, but hey, when you're over 65, you don't have to make excuses, and multitasking doesn't work like it used to. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, it's good to hear you running the net, Rusty. And what got me into ham radio? I had a cousin, an older cousin that was about 5 or 6 years older than me. When I was like in junior high school, and he was the comms officer on Air Force One during the Johnson and Nixon administrations. And he got me into it because he was a ham, and he just had this freaking room in his house full of all this green Heathkit gear, and he used to listen to the world. He used to love going over to his house, and he basically was talking all over the world on that thing. And I remember as a kid, like him getting into and talking to the Arab countries back then. There was a king that he was a prince or a king that was one of the Arab countries that he had like QSOs with on a regular basis. He was talking to this guy. It got my attention big time. It was totally awesome. And so I went out and learned the code and got my novice ticket and never got much beyond that until I ended up working and retiring from IBM and then getting back into it again and got my advanced ticket. But that's it, man. That's how I got into it. And always was a shortwave listener and all that, and utility listener with scanners in the meantime. But let me turn it back over to you, N5SMO, to the group, and back to you, Rusty.
No worries, man. You know, that's what happens when you change stuff up. It also shows nobody listens to me, which I already knew that. So, no worries, dude. No worries at all. Well, very cool, man. Yeah, I think the amount of toys, like that would definitely, if I knew a ham growing up, I probably would have gotten sucked into it, you know, knowing me, because I was all about electronics and the computers and all that kinds of fun. So I think it's something that totally would have got me. It's kind of funny that it took me this long to get into it, but man, it's been a whole lot of fun. Well, we got Bill N5SMO with us. Anybody want to say hi or ask him any questions? Now's the time.
KC3 NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, that's not me. It's also not that rogue fire department signal either, because I'm also listening to that. It's just trouble. Hey, as I recall, one of the kings of Saudi Arabia was quite a prolific ham radio operator, and quite a few people I've sort of heard of had talked to him, and he was really cool on the radio because he goes, hey, do not call me king. I'm just a guy on the radio, and we're just chit-chatting, and that was how he did it. I'm pretty sure it was Saudi Arabia, a while ago. Anyway, back to you, man.
Yeah, that well may have been it. The funny thing was, all my aunts thought he worked for the CIA, and I don't know. maybe they knew something I didn't. Back to Ned.
Yeah, you know, it's that hearsay. I had an official FEMA shirt, and I would wear that around, and my buddy gave it to me. And I guess I got enough gray hairs that people think I'm, you know, smart or something. But I would walk into places, and I would get government discounts, and they're just like, "You work for FEMA?" I'm like, "Sure." So I have learned it's not about what you really are. It's about what people think you are that matters. So, all right. Anybody else got anything for Bill before we let him go? Nothing heard. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Bill. And it's a shame that you didn't answer the trivia questions. I'm really kind of surprised Ernesto did. He always waits for you because he knows that you're smart and you never get those wrong. So, way to go, Ernesto. Look at you. You're getting smart on your own. Next on the list is Jared, N5AFC. He's checked in, I think, 3 times now because he can't listen for a damn either. So, Jared, N5AFC, what's going on, man?
Hey, not a whole lot. big news is I am finally off of the night shift. The bummer is I'm going to be moving to evening shift, which covers the time that y'all have the regular nets, but I'll work around that. Otherwise, work is going good. They still love the fact that I have a ham license. Can help me with promotions and things like that. But, yeah, just keeping the people of Texas safe and coming home and hanging out and sleeping and doing it all over again. N5 AFC.
How does that go? Not all heroes wear capes. Well, very cool, man. Sounds like the old ham radio thing's definitely working for you. So let's go ahead and tell everybody what got you into ham radio while we got you here.
Well, honestly, it was just that. I mean, it wasn't that I knew I would need it for a job. It was just that ham radio, when you have emergencies, disasters, and things like that going on, oh no cell phones, no power, but the radios and races and people like that will help things keep going and keep the communication going. Breaking for just a second. And another thing, I guess, too, my dad, much like the earlier story, my dad was a signal officer in the Army, so I knew my phonetic alphabet by heart when I was like 4 years old. And it was just something, I've always been interested in communications and radio, and I know it's a very powerful tool, and ham radio hasn't changed for a lot of years. The tools and equipment do, the people sometimes do, but principles don't. So I just love that about ham radio. N5 AFC.
Right on, man. And you know, it's a good segue. So we have a new Aries channel in the Discord, and we have the emergency coordinator and the deputy emergency coordinator for the Travis County Emergency Response Team. So if you're interested in emergency and MCOM and that kinds of fun, the Aries channel on the Discord, we've got the two people that are running the emergency stuff for Travis County. So go in there and ping them. We got Rex and Glenn, and we just got that in there. So if you're interested in anything that we're talking about sounds like fun, go ping Rex or Glenn over in the Aries channel. They'll be more than happy to chat with you. I know we've got, for those of you who like WinLink, they've got some WinLink training coming up. I believe it is next Sunday. And so, yeah, very fun, man. Anybody got anything for Jared? N5 AFC while we have him. Come with your name and call sign. Nothing heard. Well, man, hopefully we'll get to hear you on the repeaters before you go to evening shift. If not, you know, make sure you come by in the Discord and say hi. Otherwise, we'll send the Fox Hunt team after you, see if we can't find you. Have a good week, man. We'll see you later down the log. Next is Ernesto, KI5PZN. Ernesto, what's going on, man?
This is KI5PZN. Not a whole lot, man. Just working like a crazy maniac. And hanging out here at the house with Enrique tonight, listening to you guys. And Bolo, thanks for running the net, by the way. Appreciate you doing that. That's about it, man. Just, you know, getting some rest to get started again and do another workday. Back to net.
Roger, man. This is your busy time. So if you think I'm going to let you off, you're crazy. What got you into ham radio, man? Because you're like Mr. Ham Radio now. So we got to know what got you into this.
Well, my parents made the mistake of giving me a pair of walkie-talkies, and this is, I don't know if it was late 70s or early 80s, a long time ago. And I just went crazy, just went bizarre about those radios. And I remember I had the little guys that had the little red button for Morse code and the little chart in the front. And I was playing just countless hours, just doing the little beeping, pretending that somebody was listening to me on those radios. But that's what started it. and I really got into it. And then, let me reset. You should have asked me that question. And then in high school, when I started driving, I got into CV, because why not? And that also turned into a crazy times, because we used to be doing like round tables every night, 7 days a week for I don't know how many years. So it was kind of like this, obviously it wasn't, as formal as ham radio, but we were like, a handful of guys, like 10 or 15 guys every night. We'll just sit and talk for hours. So that happened for a long time. And then here in Austin, I don't know, 2 years ago, about something years ago, I was fishing in Maynard, and I usually, I go there quite often, and I bump into Lance. Now Lance is K5KEX. And one day he showed up with an HT, and I'm like, hey dude, what's going on with that? So I started asking him a bunch of questions about it. And then he told me that the code wasn't a requirement anymore, CW. And when he told me that, next time I saw him, like next week, I already have my book, and I was already studying for it. And, obviously went insane from there on, and I've been on the radio like every single day since I got my license, and before that on 11 meters. So I always like radios, all kinds of radios. I still have 11 meters. And, yeah, it's a thing. I always liked it. Back to net, KI5PZN.
And for those of you, if you haven't ever seen Ernesto's shack, he's got some killer CB gear in there, and as well. Well, did you check in with Pat tonight on the CW net? Because all that, now that you didn't need CW to get in, you still learned CW. Did you check in, man?
Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for those of you listening, we do have a CW net. It starts at 7:30 right before this one, and you don't have to be an expert on CW to get on that net. But I did. I got in, and I talked to Pat. I have now another video that it lasts like I don't know how many hours. It's on YouTube. But it basically gives you like random letters and numbers. And that's what I'm working on right now, because I really want to get the what's called head copy where you're not writing it down. So that's what I'm trying to work on. Let me reset. But yeah, for those of you who wants to get into it, I would recommend doing like get a YouTube video, like a serious one, not the one that I was talking about on Discord, like a serious one. Where somebody's, reading the letters and doing the Morse code, and that way you can memorize the alphabet, and then you can do, once you memorize that, you can do that other video that I'm doing now where it's like random, and then it gets to a point where you start hearing the letters and things start to make sense. So, highly recommend it. It's fun. It kept me away from ham radio, and now I love it. So, there you have it. Back to net control. This is KI5PZN.
Very cool, man. Well, see, now you know. Anybody got anything for Ernesto while we got him here? Come with your name and call sign.
KJ5AGH. Ernesto, I heard a comment earlier about you being a skateboarder. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm an old dude, but, so those of you who don't know me, I have a bunch of gray hair. But yeah, I still do. I started when I was very young, and I'll say high school and a few years in college, I really liked doing half pipes. I used to do that. But now I just cruise around on a skateboard and do stupid things. I'm too old to be doing those fun things, but I still have I don't know, 2 or 3 boards somewhere around here. And I'm about to get started again with that new park that I discovered on Maynard Road, and that's just south from 51st Street and north from Airport. But yeah, that's what they meant. I'm an old man who skateboards.
Nice. Yeah, I'm an old man as well. I grew up in San Diego in the 80s, so that was like a really big part of growing up for me. And I've tried to revisit it here and there. I just tried to recently, about a year ago, with my son. I have a 13-year-old. It didn't really take with him, but we were having some fun, skateboarding around. I got a bunch of skateboards in the garage. It's you're never too old, man. It's good fun.
Yeah, man, well, we should put something together on Discord and I guess meet together, young and old people, and go to the skate park and, you know, try our luck over there.
Sounds good, as long as nobody gets hurt.
With the package.
And if you do go, by all means, take a Yagi, and you will freak them out. It was hilarious. I go fox hunting with Ernesto, so we look like we're up to no good anyway. But I showed up with an antenna, and I had 3 guys behind me, and it was the UT club, and we had one dude was just like, "What are y'all doing?" Like he thought we were looking for aliens or something. It was hilarious. And so I told the UT guys, I was like, "All right, next time we do this, we all have to dress the same. We all have to have like black shades, you know, the whole bit. And we'll freak some people out." But yeah, that skate park was really cool. Like there's a whole lot of fun stuff going on there. All right, anybody else got anything for Ernesto? KI5PZN.
KI5STT.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey Ernesto, this is Dave, KI5STT. I've got 2 questions for you. First one is, what was your handle back in the CB days? And more seriously, what type of antenna are you using for the CWNet?
All right, well, I was in Puerto Rico, so it's in Spanish, and it was bandido, which, you know, obviously bandit, why not? And what I have, what I'm using right now for HF is it's an MFED antenna, and I put a 133 feet long wire on that antenna. And it goes through the trees onto like kind of like an L shape, and then towards the end it slopes down, and that seems to fix it. But that's what I'm using for HF, and it should run kind of okay from 80 to 10. I don't usually use it for 10, but that's what I have for HF. Back to you.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks for the info.
You bet, man. And if you get on 11 meters now, I'm 196 Texas, reading the mail. All right, back to net control.
He's working while he's lurking, just like old KC3NAG. All right, anybody else got anything for Ernesto and Enrique before we let them go? Nothing heard. 320 said hi, by the way, so we'll leave it at that. Well, thanks for checking in, Ernesto and Enrique. And we're going to let all the good folks out there know you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. hanging out. This net is what sucked me into this club. It's a great net. It goes on for a couple of hours unless COVID happens, and then it went on for 3 or 4 hours, and there was lots of drinking. So this is our one chance during the week to hang out with the club and say hi. We've got a bunch of nets going on now, but this is the old faithful, the old Thursday night net. If you want more information about the club, or if you want to join the Discord, or donate some money, whatever it is you would like to do to help out this fantastic club, visit us online at n5oak.org to make that happen. All right, next on the list is Tony, KJ5AGH. Tony, man, how's your week going, and what got you into ham radio?
Hey, Rusty. Week is going pretty good. I've been spending a lot of time working on my HF radio and trying to learn how to use it. It came with a really big manual. There's a lot of buttons and dials on it. I found that my internal antenna tuner can't tune everything on the antenna that I set up. So I've been trying to figure that out, and I actually ordered a tuner today to try and get all the bands working because only some of them are working. So I just been playing with that, trying to tighten things up to get full coverage. I'm in a pretty big hurry to get my general at this point. After listening to all the stuff I've heard, I haven't been able to talk to anybody because I don't have my general, and I don't ever see much going on the 10-meter slice that I do have access to, and that's one of the ones that my tuner's not tuning in well anyway. So I've been doing a lot of studying for the general, and I set an appointment to test on the 15th. So I got a couple weeks. I'm doing pretty good on the testing right now. Both of those questions you had earlier, I knew. So I'm on the right track. But I've been hearing a lot of stuff. I can hear everything in North America. I hear a lot of stuff in Caribbean, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Canada, Mexico. I've heard as far as the south as Peru, but I haven't really heard much outside of that, like in Europe or in Asia. I've heard some stuff in Portugal. That was the furthest that I've heard, but it was really faint. But that was the furthest that I can confirm that I was able to hear on what I have set up. So been playing around with that. I got into this because my older brother was getting into it. He was telling me he was testing and he was studying and he was gonna take the test and all that. And he had some nostalgia for watching my grandpa do it when he was a kid, I was too young to have remembered that, but some nostalgia there, and decided to look into it. Had some room in my life for a new hobby, so I decided to try it out. I've been having a lot of fun.
Well, very cool, man. Discord is a good place. If you need to try something out or if you need to work something out, go throw it up on the Discord and be like, hey, I'm on 10 meters. I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody to test this out, something like that. There's usually somebody around that can jump on and play. So that's a good thing. Are you looking at doing any of the digital stuff? Because digital on the 10 meters has been on, 10 meters as a whole has been on fire. But are you interested in digital at all? Are you just doing sideband? Are you just kind of wrapping your head around all of it and just figuring it out?
Yeah, I've just been doing single sideband radio phone. That's just trying to get my head around all this stuff. I mean, I just kind of jumped in a few weeks ago and I'm spending a lot of my brain cycles, studying and then playing with these two radios that I got, trying to figure out how they all work and everything. But that's definitely something I would like to get into further down the road and understand that when I have some more time for it. I think I want to get into the fox hunting aspect of this whole thing before I do that. So, I'm gonna try that out.
I am a huge proponent of the fox hunts. Something else, is what time of day you're doing on the 10 meters. You might be checking in a little too late on the 10 meters, so it's more of a daytime ban. If you're looking at nighttime, that might be why. So propagation is a wonderful thing. But man, the fox hunts have been fun. It's honestly how Ernesto and I became friends. Our better friends, I should say. We knew each other through the club, but man, we've started hanging out on Saturdays and going fox hunting, and you get to spend a lot of time talking and shooting the stuff. And plus, now we go to Old Man Breakfast pretty much every Saturday. So now we know all the guys over at the Austin Club, which is fun. And they're a friendly bunch. So if you're looking for, if you're an early riser, which I'm not, I only do it because I love Ernesto. But if you like to get up early and be hungry at the same time and be pleasant, those three things are hard for me. The Waterloo breakfast every Saturday at 8 a.m. It's a fun time, and you can learn a whole lot. There's a whole lot of ham radio and a whole lot of BS. There's more BS than there is ham radio, but it's fun time. All right, we got Tony with us, KJ5AGH. Anybody want to say hi? Come with your name and call sign.
And 5SMO, Bill.
Go ahead, Bill.
I just want to say, hey, Tony, welcome to the fun world of HF, and I'm just curious, what radio did you get?
I got the ICOM 7300, and then I have a multi-band antenna dipole up in my attic that's supposed to cover 10, 15, 20, and 40. It's kind of got like 3 things off it, like the old Van Halen logo, like 3 different lengths of elements hanging off of it. So that's up in my attic. That's all I had room for at this point. I'm going to try and get that going best I can, and then I think I'm going to move out into the yard and get a little crazier once I get that established.
Well, that's awesome, man. I think having some multi-band capability when you're kind of first getting into it helps a lot, rather than being limited to one single band. And you've got a great radio to start with. That thing is so capable and so simple and intuitive. Once you just kind of learn, some of the basic stuff about it, that it's an excellent rig, and it just has fantastic audio quality. You just constantly hear people talking on the air, and when they've got a 7300, it just sounds so good and so clear and crisp. But congratulations, and back to you, Rusty, and the group, and 5SMO.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else got anything for Tony before we let him go? Come with your name and call sign.
KF5UKF, Steve.
Oh, anybody but Steve. Tony, you don't want to talk to Steve, so we're just going to pass on down the log. Get in here, Steve. Talk to Tony.
Oh, that hurt. Hey, Tony, welcome to the hobby. I think it sounds like a great radio you have. I have the Yaesu 991A, which is kind of a multi-band, in a lot of ways similar radio. But I was going to ask about your antenna. I'm not real familiar with the dipole fans. I know that they seem very, very efficient, and a lot of people use them. I was just going to suggest to you that if you're going to go outside, the in-fed half wave at about 65 feet is resonant on 40, 20, 15, and 10, and just a huge number of people find that as kind of a very, very useful antenna. I've got one. I put it out in my yard. I use my tree limb saw, pole saw that goes up to about 24 feet, and I've got a length of PVC pipe zip tied onto that to get me up to about 26, 27 feet, and I've got an angle down and a slant to my deck, and that's what I use, and I've had some pretty good luck with it, and it's resonant on all of those frequencies.
That sounds like a pretty good plan. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and looking at a lot of forums and stuff, and that's one thing that people have been pointing to, is something like that. So I got 2 ports in my wall at the shack that I set up in the spare room in my house. One's going to the VHF, UHF, one's going to that one, and the other dipole in the attic, and then I'm gonna drill a third hole in there and just run a line out into the backyard and just experiment. It's like whatever I can build out there, or whatever I want to swap it out to, I can just move it from one antenna to another out in the backyard. So that's my plan. I'd really like to just learn more about how antennas work. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Well, it sounds like you're off to a great start with that radio anyway. Good luck and welcome, KF5UKF.
Thanks, Steve. Hopefully we'll see you later down in the log. Anybody else have anything for Tony, KJ5AGH, before we let him go? All right. Well, Tony, good to hear you on the net again, man. And maybe we'll get to hear from the XYL. She checks in later on our second round of check-ins. Let's go talk to John, KI5ZIE. John, how's your week been, and what got you into ham radio, man?
Hey, this is John, KI5ZIE. I'm doing pretty good. I've had back surgery a couple weeks ago, and so I've been just kind of slowly recovering from that. I originally got into ham radio by way of being a doomsday prepper. So over the last, many years, I've been learning a lot of skills. I got like wilderness first aid certification, a whole bunch of other first aid stuff. I've done a lot of adventure racing with, knowing how land navigation and such, and wilderness survival and cooking things over, learning, making fires and stuff without matches, collecting water and purifying it, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And one of the things I took on was communication. I started with just memorizing phone numbers and making sure I knew everybody's phone number, and then making my grandkids and everybody else memorize phone numbers. And then that led me to radios, and then that led me to GMRS, which I love, by the way, and I love GMRS. My GMRS base station is on right now. Love it. But that was like a gateway drug to this. So I realized, ham radio was the next step. And so I got my technician in general a couple months ago, and I've been trying to learn everything I can and just, see the value in it. And I would also love to be, as I learn more, to learn more about the emergency, the ARES and all that stuff. I just have this cheap Bell thing. I spend more on this headset than on this little radio. But, I'm in a bit of an analysis paralysis on what radios to get next. There's just too many choices, but I'm working my way through it. But I love it. It's fun. I'd like to get into the satellite tracking thing. All of it. It's just so much fun. I love it. So, that's how I got here. And all I can say is this. Listen, when SHTF happens, when the end of the world as we know it happens, and the North Koreans let off a nuke, where there's an EMP thing, all the bird flu is going on, and all of that, all I can say is, I just hope that I'm still sitting here, listening on a net to the sexy radio voices of Rusty and Ernesto. And if that's how it ends, and that's how I go to Valhalla, I'm all right with it. Back to net.
Well, your check is in the mail. I appreciate that, and no doubt. I moved down to Austin just in time for COVID to shut everything down, and thanks to ham radio, I was able to meet all these people and hang out with all these people and talk to all these people, and it was a great thing. Like, it really was. Like, I didn't know anybody down here. My brother lives down here, but other than that, I didn't know anybody. So ham radio totally helped me out, and it was a way to reach out and chat with people and get to learn new things about stuff. And ham radio the COVID time was definitely when I learned a lot about ham radio and kind of dove off into the HF realm. I was still just kind of the 2 meter 70 centimeter guy. I still love the repeaters, and since I've been president of the club, it's one of the things that I've tried to do is get more people on the repeaters. We need more people talking on the repeaters. So I'm proud to say that we have quite a group of people that hang out on the repeaters now, and you throw your call out there and somebody will say hi. So that's been a whole lot of fun for me. As far as the prepping type stuff goes, I just pulled it up. So the Travis County ARES is hosting an afternoon of hands-on WinLink training with support from the Red Cross. We'll have working rigs to follow so you can play with WinLink, and you can also practice with them for peer-to-peer connections. Anyone struggling to set up WinLink is encouraged to bring your gear, and we will do our best to get you dialed in. This is going to be at the Red Cross at 2218 Pershing Drive in Austin. and it is going to be, when is it? It is Sunday, April 2nd at 1 p.m. So if you're not doing anything Sunday, April 2nd at 1 p.m., you can go to the Travis County Aries WinLink training. We have an event in the Discord. We also have an Aries channel on the Discord now, and you can go talk to Rex and Glenn. They will be more than happy to tell you anything and everything you want. So if you're interested in that, by all means, make it happen. All right, we've got, let's see, what are we doing? I've lost my mind. We got John, KI5ZIE with us. Anybody want to come say hi?
KC3, NAG.
My favorite. Get in there, Randy.
Hey, John. This is Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, KC3, NAG. Yeah, Rusty calls me the nag. But, hey, cool, man. Like, yeah, you came to the right place if you want radio information. Rusty and the rest of the club will help you and do whatever it takes, man. It's like, you know, we're all in this together, man. But my actual comment was, you know, about, you know, all your, you know, learning, you know, general, you know, survival kind of stuff. Like, you know, I grew up in, like, middle of, like, New York State, hilly country, lots of trees, creeks and streams, and, you know, we just knew, like, kind of how to, like, take care of ourselves in that respect, you know. A lot of camping, you know. I mean, of course, you know, Dad taught you, or Boy Scouts or something, you know, but, hey, you know, this is, you know, things got bad, you know, it's going to rain or snow, and you're out camping, like, you better have some waterproof matches, and, you know, all those things, and, hey, this is how you, like, bundle up, or build a, you know, a little quick lean-to with something, you know. So, like, hey, you know, I really think everybody should know those skills, you know. You're not the only one, man. But I don't really think Korea is going to get us, but we're not supposed to talk about politics, so we'll just have to drop that. But, hey, man, welcome to the group. Come in anytime, man. Back to you.
Thank you for that. This Kilo India 5 Zulu India Echo. John, back to net.
Anybody else want to come chat with John before we let him go? Come with your name and call sign.
N5SMO.
Go right ahead, Bill.
Hey, John, I just got a question for you. What's your preferred way of making a fire? It's building a fire without, like, having a lighter.
Oh, that's a, wow. Oof. How many hours do we got? So, all right. So what I do is I play around with different ways of doing it. I got a Mora Coven, whatever, I can't remember this, knife with a ferrocerium rod, which I throw sparks with, and I play around with different things. But I take my girlfriend's little makeup discs, you know, little cotton things, and I soak them in lighter fluid. And let them dry, and they make great fire starters. You throw a spark on that, boom, you're good to go. You can burn down the whole city. And then I, you know, use like fat wood is good to go. My favorite guy on YouTube is Cole Crafter Bush Crafting. I think his name is Dan Wowak is his name. And he's got 1,000 different ways to light fires. I spend a lot of time in the front yard just coming up with different ways to make fires. And a couple of years ago, my daughter bought me a fire ring like they have at the state parks so that I can just sit out there because she lives with me with her children. And I can just sit out there and just, like, make fires. So, yeah, there's lots of ways to do it. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, cool, thanks. Yeah, I like ferrocerium as well, and I've been just experimenting with, like, different tinders, trying to figure out, And what I've been using is dryer lint with Vaseline on it, and trying that. I have one, like film canister with it, and with the Vaseline in it, and one without it, and kind of use the two together, get it going in the dry stuff, and then it makes the soak stuff catch up, and it works pretty good. That's all I got. Back to Ned, M5SMO.
My favorite way is a match and some Aquanet. Man, watch out. All right, anybody else got anything for John? We've had some fun questions. Anybody got anything for John before we let him go? So you made me think of something I haven't thought about in a while, John, and it's remembering phone numbers. And I never did remember people's phone numbers, but I always remembered the patterns as you dialed them. And so I could never tell anybody's phone number, but I could dial it on the phone for them. And people always thought I was weird for more reasons than that, but that was just kind of added to why they thought I was weird. And I haven't ever thought about that because nobody remembers phone numbers anymore. And it's kind of interesting that's kind of something that's it's interesting that we don't have to remember all the things that we used to. Yet, as speaking for myself, we just keep getting dumber as we get older. I don't know how that works. Well, we have reached the end of our regular check-ins on round number 1. Don't you worry, we got plenty more to go. Before we do that, though, we're going to tell everybody that you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net, and our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m., and we've already had Bus join the Discord. We've got new people on the net, and we get new people every day of the week. So if you are new to ham radio and you're listening, and you got a little mic fright, and you're a little afraid, this is a great place to come and be your first net, be your first transaction with somebody, first conversation. So we welcome all the new people. We are very new people friendly. So if you've never checked into the net before, this would be a good time. Round number 2 is started. And if you want to come and say hi and get your name on the log, all you have to do is come in and tell me your name and your call sign. And that's all there is. Round number 2 is starting right now. Y'all show up. Name and call sign, please.
KI5 ZTW Blake Spicewood.
This is W5LUL, Holly and Gita.
Steve in Dripping Springs.
This is KI5 and OK, Anderson in somewhere.
This is KI5OED, Scott and Kyle.
This is Kilo India 5, Romeo Bravo Tango, Kent in Pflugerville.
This is Alpha India 5, Juliet Tango in Leander.
This is Alpha Charlie 5 Golf, Philip East Austin. This is Kilo India 5, Sierra Tango Tango, Dave in Buda.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Lima Sierra, Cody, Fort Hood.
How about that for a pause, Randy? We got Anderson. Oh my goodness, what is the world coming to? Let's go talk to Blake, KI5ZTW. Blake, good to see you, man. Tell all the fine folks on the net what got you into ham radio. And I think that was, a Monday night? We were on here talking with your buddy Dave, I believe, and all kinds of fun. So yeah, Blake, tell us what got you into ham radio.
Hey, Rusty, yeah, thanks. KI5CTW Blake out here in Spicewood. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. A friend of mine I've known for 30 years, we went to a military school together out in New Mexico, was here visiting, and he actually tried to get me into this about 5 years ago, and gave me a study book and kept pushing me, and he would show up here randomly with his wife and have these cool, like, QRP setups and run a antenna up to my flagpole and show me how you could talk to people all over. I was like, man, this is really cool. And so, yeah, back in February, I got my technician license. He showed up in March, brought a bunch of cool toys, and we set up this radio and got on Monday night, and I think we sat around and talked with you and a couple other people till about after midnight. But, yeah, it was just a good friend of mine pushed me into it.
And just to let you know, man, you are not scratchy, poppy, nothing tonight. You're coming in fantastic. So I don't know if you moved the antenna off of the AC, but you're sounding great. I haven't heard any weirdness on the 320, as a matter of fact, except a little bit earlier. So knock on wood, that's the case. Well, man, it's been fun having you in here. I like hearing you on the repeaters, sitting out there, just throwing your call sign out, seeing if anybody's there. Anybody want to say hi to Blake, KI5ZTW, while we got him here? Come with your name and call sign.
Hi, Blake. This is KD9 HPZ. That's Kilo Delta Niner Hotel Papa Zulu. Brian here in Germantown, Wisconsin. Good evening, everybody. This is my debut on this net. What an awesome net.
Hey, great. Nice to hear from you all the way from Wisconsin. Are you coming in over Echolink?
Negative. I'm coming in on the All-Star.
Very cool, very cool. Good to hear from you. It's probably a lot warmer down here than it is up there. It's going to be 90 here tomorrow.
Oh, nice. That's our midsummer. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, well, we're actually, both my wife and I are kind of severe storms enthusiasts, but we don't do any of that kind of stuff like read timber or anything or have that kind of technology. Just the smartphones and my ham radio and a scanner. That's about it, and hit the road. But, this is Wisconsin, so we only get like a few minutes of the real severe stuff, and then it blows over. By the time my wife says, let's go chase that storm, I'm like, honey, it's already out over Lake Michigan. You might as well forget it. Moving northeast at 55 to 60 miles an hour? Yeah, she's gone.
Very cool, very cool. Well, hey, thanks for saying hello.
Hey, no problem. I just kind of threw that out there because I guess tomorrow all of us up here and down to the south are all still scheduled for some pretty good, storms, possibly tornadic, large hail, all of that stuff that comes with, the big, mesoscale convective complexes. So, everybody be safe out there that live in that danger zone that will be sweeping through here ahead of the cold front. So, and nice talking to you there, bud. Back to you, my friend.
Thank you, KI5ZTW. Back to you, Rusty, Net Control.
All right, that was Brian, KD9HPZ from Germantown, Wisconsin. Brian, don't you go away. We're going to come next. We got you next. Let's finish up with Blake, though. Anybody else want to come say hi to Blake before we let him go?
KI5ZIE.
On.
KI5ZIE. I've just got really cold hearing that. Sitting about Wisconsin, very cold sounding. I think forget about the ferrocerium rod. I'm just going to get some gasoline and a match so I can warm up. It sounds very cold. So I hope you all survive it up there. Just joking. KI5ZIE, John, down here in Austin where it's warm.
All right. Anybody else want to talk to Blake before we let him go?
KC3 NAG. Hey Blake, where in Wisconsin are you? Like, I didn't catch your location. Like, I got some friends up there, like east, north, southwest.
Hold that thought, Randy. Yeah, it's Brian, and he's coming up next. We're still talking to Blake, KI5ZTW. We'll go talk to Wisconsin right after this, though, I promise. Anybody else want to chat with Blake before we let him go? All right, Blake. Well, that's going to do it. We will see you on the repeaters, man, and maybe Blake has a taco guy over in East Austin, so we might be meeting up with Blake for some tacos. Y'all check out the social meetups channel, because he's got a guy that has a trailer that makes amazing tacos, and he wants to get into ham radio, so I'm trying to see how we can order tacos over ham radio. That would be stellar. Next on the list is Brian, KD9HPZ. He is in Wisconsin. Brian, the question for tonight is what got you into ham radio? And another question I have for you is how in the world did you find us? And welcome to the Thursday Night Net, man.
Hey, my friend. Let's see here. How I got into ham radio? Well, I grew up basically in a family of CB radio enthusiasts. Well, that would be my dad, and then my ma kind of followed in suit. But I kind of helped fuel that first when I asked for a pair of walkie-talkies back in the early to mid 70s, and I remember how excited I was when I ran down the block and I kept asking my dad if he could still hear me, and he says, about 2 blocks away, nope, you're starting to fade out. You better head back to the home Pondee. And I was just like, okay, I'm on my way. And then, it kind of went from there. Then his dream was always to have, do the ham radio next, take it to the next level. But unfortunately, he didn't live long enough to do that. So actually, here's an exciting part of this whole story. On January 7th of 2017, what would have been his 89th birthday, I passed my technician's test with flying colors. So there you have it. And my dad, looking down upon me from heaven, just smiled, big smile.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome that you got that on your dad's birthday. Well, congratulations, dude. That's when I got licensed in 2017. So I'm a new ham by all means. I'm an extra, but I don't know anything. So it's we have technicians in our club that know way more than I do. So I don't ever tell anybody I'm an extra. I just kind of wink and nod. Well, very cool, man. Well, I'm glad that you found the net tonight, and All-Star is an amazing thing for that. We got Brian, KD9HPZ, and I know Randy had a question for you. So Randy, get in there. Now's your time to talk to Brian.
Hi, Brian. This is KC3 NAG. Yeah, I don't know. Rusty gets chatterboxing. I drift off and don't pay attention. So it is what it is. But whereabouts in Wisconsin are you? Like, I have a general license, and I talked to this guy. I don't know. Every couple of months or something in like Kenosha, and I had a very good friend from Milwaukee. So like, where are you at, man?
All right, so Germantown here. I guess you could call us a further out suburb of Milwaukee, northwest, probably by about 15 miles ish. from the border of Milwaukee. The Menominee Falls is sandwiched in between, so it's Milwaukee going northwest. It's Milwaukee and then Menominee Falls in Germantown. Now, Kenosha would be about 50 miles south, due south of Milwaukee, right along the lakeshore. Racine is in, you're going to hit Racine first, and then you hit Kenosha, and just south of there, then you hit the Illinois border.
Oh yeah, man. Got it. Cool. Yeah, I got a friend up there I talk to like once in a while on 40 meters when the band's open, and I don't know, it's just fun, all radio's fun, so I was just curious, man. Back to you real quick.
Yeah, it is fun. This whole thing here, I've been listening to the Austin Metro repeater here for quite some time, but actually it was a guy named Smitty on the Sierra Foothills coffee break net that goes from 7:30. Now this is their time. 7:30 to 10 a.m., which is 9:30 to noon, and sometimes past that. Our time here in the central time zone. But yeah, he actually told me about this technology here. He says you need to download an app called Repeater Phone, and he says with that'll give you the technology to actually talk on your phone, with the nodes and everything. And sometimes there's multiple nodes to actually be able to hit the different repeaters.
Well, yeah, man. Like that's like way even beyond my skill level. But hey, if you're interested in any kind of information, if you look at this club's website, which I'm sure Rusty will tell you all about, you'll find tons of stuff. So, like, really cool talking to you, man. KC3 NAG, back to net control.
Thank you, Randy. And yeah, Randy's right. If you're looking for nets, we have a net on Monday night here, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Sunday night. So we have a lot of fun stuff. Go check out the website at n5oak.org because you can check in. We have last week on the last 2 weeks on the Trivia Net, we've had some guys out of Canada check in. It's been a whole lot of fun. All right, well, gang, we got Brian, KD9HPZ, all the way from Wisconsin, hanging out on our little old net here in Austin. Anybody want to say hi or anything to Brian? Come with your name and call sign.
N5SMO.
Go right ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Brian, I'm just wondering what part of Wisconsin are you in? I used to spend a lot of my youth going up there to northern Wisconsin and then up around Elkhart Lake to see the races there at Road America.
I am actually located in the southeastern part of Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. I always say Milwaukee because most people, are familiar with that because there's so many German towns. I think there's like a Germantown, Maryland. That's just one of them, and there's a bunch of other ones. So, Pennsylvania. My wife says, yeah, Tennessee. So there you go, But yeah, I always took a fancy to this this frequency, and then I started listening in on the nets at night like this, and then when you guys would have your tech net that would talk about solar propagation and everything else like that, and geomagnetic field and everything. I was like, wow, this is really cool, and it just took from there. And hey, how cool is that? We got the Fonz in Milwaukee, and you guys have a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan, which I have a picture of me taken next to him by the Austin's River there back a few years ago. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been to Milwaukee, many times. When I was in high school, the drinking age in Wisconsin was only 18. It was lower than it was in Illinois, and we used to go up there and on a Saturday and 2 or 5 breweries in one afternoon. Good times. Back to net, N5SMO.
Oh, that's awesome. You got to do the Lakefront Brewery tour. Yeah, and then the Miller Brewery tour. Yeah, we did. Wife and I and family members, her family members there. We did both, and yeah, of course not in the same day, but yeah, it was. I was feeling pretty good when I left both places.
I remember going to Louisiana, and they had just changed the drinking age from 18 to 21. I was bummed. But I noticed that if I walked into the bar without a beer, they would card me. But if I walked up to the next bar with a beer in my hand, the only thing that they cared about was that I finished the beer before I went into the bar. So I would just go from bar to bar carrying a beer, and as soon as I would walk in, they wouldn't card me. They would be like, "Hey, dude, you got to finish that and throw it away." And so I would down my beer in front of the bouncer, throw it in the trash, and then he would basically just shove me in the bar. So it's always interesting to see what people look for. All right, well, next on the list is Holly, W5LUL. Holly, what's going on down there in South Austin?
Hey, Rusty, I was just chuckling at your New Orleans story. That's pretty funny.
It's true. You know, you gotta look what the adults are doing, and you know, I love knowing what the rules are, because that defines what the gray area is. So, Holly, what got you into ham radio?
Well, much like I think it was, I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. My grandfather was a World War II vet, and he was W5LUL. His name was Thomas Truman Williams, and he was always on the radio. I remember in the early 80s him having a push-button phone inside of his car and this 3-foot antenna on the top of a Dodge Omni, and he had a ham shack, and we grew up playing in the ham shack, and we used to push the button on the microphone, and my sister and I thought we were singing to somebody. I don't know. The antenna was probably turned off, but maybe not. I don't know. So that's what got me into ham radio, is I had promised him I was going to do it. Let me let it reset. When I was in high school, my grandfather decided that I needed to get my ham radio license, and I said, sure, yeah, I would do that, because I was always hanging out in there with him, and he was teaching me how to solder, and I don't know why I would need to know how to solder, but he was teaching me how to do it. And so when I was in high school, he asked me to get my license, and I said I would do it, but then I found out I had to learn Morse code, and I don't know that I'm that smart. So, I didn't do it in high school, and then he passed away when I was in college. And so during COVID, I decided that, this was the time I was going to go ahead and do it. And so we looked up and we took some classes. Dave and I took classes with a group that's up by Dallas. Let me let it reset. And so for I think it was 3 months, we met once a week and went over these questions and studied the questions, and then we drove up to Italy, Texas to go take our license in the middle of the pandemic. And Dave's laughing because it was the first trip in our new truck, which was kind of big and scary. But, yeah, that's what got us into ham radio, and we're trying to get it all figured out. Getting over the hump of just connecting to the repeater was quite a job. Ray helped us a lot on the Southside Simplex. And that's back to you, Rusty.
That's a fantastic story. I love it. So I kind of wondered where your call sign. I wondered why you were W5LUL and Dave was KI5STT. I was just like, she's got some old school call sign here. What's going on? So that's nice. No, that's really sweet too that you have his call sign. That's wonderful. Well, I got licensed in Fort Worth, and same thing. The Cowtown Ham Radio Club is it's a bunch of old General Dynamics, aerospace engineers from the Carswell Air Force Base. So there was lots of brain power in there and lots of really nice old guys. And they did the same thing. They would basically sell you the book, and then they would roll you through the book, and you'd go through the questions, and they teach you what they could and answer all the questions that you have. And I think we did that for a week or two, and that's how I got my technician. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, hey gang, we got Holly with us on the net. Anybody want to come say hi? Now's the time. Give us your name and call sign.
And they scared everybody off.
Hi, Holly. And I hope that we get to see you on April 8th at the Texas Pie Company down there in Kyle for some brunch and some fun. You and Dave. You can bring Dave. You don't have to bring Dave, but if he shows up, we won't kick him out. Well, we got Steve, KI5UKF, out in the Dripping Springs area. Steve, man, how you been? Where you been? It sounds like you were working late tonight. And what got you into ham radio, man?
Hey, Rusty. Yeah, I'm a lowly state employee, so the legislature's in session, and we're kind of burning some midnight oil now. So not our greatest cycle, but again, it's only every 2 years, thank goodness. So doing a little bit of extra work tonight. Let it drop. Yeah, what got me into radio? Sort of kind of a trifecta. My dad was a Morse code operator in the Korean War, so kind of always been interested in radios. I heard a couple other people talk about walkie-talkies today. Same thing here. I had a set of walkie-talkies, and that was kind of fascinating. And then the other two parts of the trifecta, or the other part was, sort of COVID, and we all had time for extra hobbies. And actually, I hope nobody's too annoyed, but my first one was I wanted to learn how to weld, so I bought a really cheap wire feed welder, and I learned how to weld from YouTube, self-taught off YouTube, as are so many things. And so then the next thing was ham radio, so I picked up my license about a year ago. I think it's been almost about to the day, about a year since I got my technician. As far as what's going on, Rusty, you kind of motivated me to get, involved with the solar and the battery charge controllers and all that stuff. So I put all that crap together the past 2 weeks, and I've, somebody said earlier about not wanting to learn how to solder, but soldering is a pretty important skill if you really want to have good electrical connections. And so I've been working on that this week, and I've got a pretty good system put together. I've got a 20AH lithium-ion battery, and then I got I had a family member give me a gift card to Best Buy, and I'm like, I don't really need anything from Best Buy, so I bought one of those little Jackery units that has the inverter in it, and so I've got 2 different batteries now that I can go out and do POTA activations and so forth on. So that's what I've been working on this week, is trying to figure out how to put all that stuff together, make it work with the solar cells and so forth. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun to learn all that kind of technology. So enjoying it very much. Back to you, Net Control, KI5UKF.
I did the same thing. I have a battery box and I have all that, and I'm glad I motivated you because during Snowpocalypse and Ice-Mageddon, the 2 things that never went out were my ham radios. And I've got 40 amp hour batteries. I've got two of them, one for HF and one for 70 centimeter, 2 meter side. And man, like I've got that and the two solar panels. And during Snowmageddon, I had to go and sweep off my solar panels. But I kept all that done. I was able to charge my iPad and my iPhone and talk to people and keep me from going insane. Because the first one, the bad one, I didn't have power for like 5 days. This last go around, the ice one, I didn't have power for a day. So that was easy. But man, I can't say enough about the solar panels and the batteries for the radio. It's just the way to go. And just like you, man, YouTube was my Elmer, and it got the job done. And that's about all I can say. I have no complaints, but one of the things that I would like to do in the club for all those listening out there, for all those Elmers that actually have a clue as to what's happening, I would like the club to embrace that. And I would like to get some people together, and I would like to start having some fun electronic projects. I would like for the club to start helping with a little more hands-on Elmering. I learn the best when I actually do it, and I see it, and I touch it and feel it. Like those things help it jump into my brain. So I think we could help people with that, and I think it would be a whole lot of fun too. So if anybody out there is listening, the club meetings would be a fun place. We could meet up at somebody's house, but it would be kind of fun to start doing some hands-on project-y type stuff and see if we can't make that happen. Well, all right, Steve, thanks for checking in with us. Let's see if anybody wants to say hi to Steve, KI5UKF, while we got him here on the net. Y'all come with your name and call sign. You shouldn't have said you work anywhere around the legislation, man. Nobody wants to talk to you. I wish I could find a job where I worked every other year. That would be pretty damn cool. All right, man. Don't work too hard, and keep all that snake oil out of the government. That'd be a full-time job. Well, Anderson is next, but I'm going to make him wait because we got to let everybody know you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net. Call sign N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. For more details about the club, or become a member, see how you can annoy Anderson on Discord like me, visit us online at n5oak.org. And next is Anderson, KI5NLK Anderson. You have been MIA, man. I haven't heard you on the Slacker chats. I haven't seen you in the Discords. What's going on over there, man? You seemed a little preoccupied. You're not playing with your ham radio friends.
Hey, Rusty, KI5 and OK. You don't have to say my ham radio friends. My ham radio friends are my only friends. You're all that matters to me. I've been a hair busy with work stuff and garden stuff. I've been out in the backyard building raised bed garden stuff because the wife she's been busy with her little, every year they do a fundraising event. So I've been basically trying to do all the things I can around the house. Got some siding stuff going on, and junk like that. So I've been kind of missing on the Slacker chats. I tried to pop on. I think it was today or yesterday, but nobody was around. So that's probably 80% on me. But yeah, just been doing stuff. Get some tablets ready for testing. I think I got 10. Back to net control.
Oh, 80% nothing. That's 100% on you. You're the reason that Slacker Chat started, and if you don't come check in with us, nobody can talk. Like we're all just sitting there waiting on you. Well, so you reminded me of something. I was talking to Ernesto. Ernesto is a gardener as well, and we have quite a few people in the club that like to grow and do all kinds of fun stuff out in the garden. And I thought it might be kind of fun to do like a farmer's market channel on the Discord. We had a garden when I was a kid, and my dad was always overzealous in what he planted, and it always looked like fun until things sprouted, and then we had like 9,000 cucumbers and squash, and everything came in, of course, at the same time, and so you just went from nothing to sick of everything. What are your ideas of putting in like a farmer's market channel and, having it to where you could sell, give, donate, buy, swap, that kinds of stuff, vegetables? You got enough vegetables over there to share with the club, or is this just enough for the family?
Shoot, man, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a lot of fun, and we do have a lot of gardening type people. The only one that I ever have that goes out of control that I start to hand off, push on friends and neighbors and stuff is like you said, cucumbers. And I think we've had there was something else that got a little out of hand too, but I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, the rest of it, I'm just not that good at it. I bet Ernesto has an abundance of veggies, but half the time I kill most of it off. I'll put a whole year's worth of effort into strawberry plants, and I'll end up with like 2 of them. But they're the best strawberries I've ever eaten. So take what you can, I guess.
All right, well, we might have to try that out and see. We are definitely getting close to tablet needing time, so thank you again for making that happen. We got Anderson, KI5NLK. Somebody come yell at him. They've just so you know, Randy's been yelling at me for quick keying, and my quick key buddy has been MIA. So I've been taking all the quick key heat for you there, Anderson. Just to let you know. So anybody want to come talk to Anderson? Now's the time. Name and call sign.
KI5YLS.
Oh, we got the yellow liver spots. Cody, it's all yours, man.
What's going on, Anderson? I wanted to pipe in about the trade, the plants, the green thumbs trade market or whatever. I also have to say that that's a good idea because my grandmother plants a lot of different stuff and is expanding into like watermelon, cantaloupe, cucumbers, strawberries, stuff like that. So I've see if she can she'd be down to come look at that Discord channel every once in a while and get some tips and tricks, and maybe she might be able to put her own stuff in there that she's growing. So yeah, I totally agree. She's more into the plant, like the what's the word I'm looking for? Let me let it reset while I'm thinking. She's more into like the flowers and God, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like exotic plants, I guess you could call it. Like roses and stuff like that. So not too much on food and grocery, but she's, like I said, she's slowly expanding into that as well. So yeah, I agree with the Discord channel, and maybe I can get my grandmother to join in and be a part of it too. Back to you.
There you go, Cody. I'm gonna get a quick key just to show Rusty what's up. I like the idea, and having flowers near your garden is always important because it brings the bees and the butterflies and all that sort of stuff. So definitely valid to have flowers near. And the other thing, Rusty, about the garden is if everybody wants to pipe in on what does well in Central Texas, it'd be helpful because we could all share and be like, this is what I grow that works well. Because half the time I'll grow stuff like watermelons, and they just don't turn out great. They taste real watery, and I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. Same with peppers. I'll grow peppers and I'll go, these aren't spicy. So if we got some green thumbs, I want to hear what works and what I'm doing wrong.
Well, I think the name watermelon, you want your melons to be a little watery. All right, man. Well, then we'll make it. After that, I'll go start a farmers market channel, and we can do tips on gardening, and we can, trade food and all that kinds of fun. Because I mean, like, it happens to everybody I know with a garden. They plant it. There's some people that love to do that, and then it just explodes. And unless you're a pickler, which my grandmother used to pickle all kinds of fun stuff and store it down in the cellar, unless you do that and keep it for later, then that's what it is, So, all right, cool, Mr. Quick Key Anderson. I think I had something. Oh, yeah, so I had my buddy Tom. We're talking about flowers. And Tom was a total gearhead, like big biker dude, big burly guy, and he had the most amazing roses in his backyard. And so finally, I was busting his chops, and I'm just like, all right, what's going on here? Like, you have no green thumb, I'm just like, what's going on with your rose bush? And he's just like, well, I discovered something. He's like, when I moved into the house, the roses were back here, and he was like, they were kind of dying. So he said, I thought I'd help him out, so I would just started peeing on him, and he's just like, he's like, I finished, I figured I'd just kill him off, and he's like, whatever it is about it, man, he's like, when I started peeing on them, they started blooming and coming in full blast. So for those of you that have roses, you never know what might happen if you go out there and water them yourself. It might make them bloom and come alive. All right, we got Anderson with us, the old Quick Key NLK. Anybody else want to come chat with Anderson?
AC5G.
We got you in there, but I heard Philip in there first. AC5G, go right ahead.
And first, I want to thank you for the exam. It's generous of you. Be a beggar and asking for more, but we do need to get those things checked to see if they work with the system. I'm not sure how old they are. There are some issues where if it doesn't update to the latest versions of everything, TLS and JavaScript and stuff just don't work for it. So I'm not sure if you've got the iOS version numbers, and if you want to send that to me, I'll tell you if they're even worth your time or not. But thanks again for that. We do appreciate it. AC5G, back to Nick.
Yeah, man, let's get together this weekend or something. I'll bring you the ones I got so you can start messing with them. But I think they're all new enough that they updated to iOS 16 or whatever the newest one is. Maybe there's a handful of them that only went to 15, and if so, we can chunk them out. No big deal. They were all kind of at the end of their life anyway. So you know how it is with work stuff, right? Work stuff, you can't have older devices. They have to be working and new, because if it breaks and the guy's out there, it's thousands of dollars a minute. But if it's your home thing, it's like you can make it work. But yeah, hit me up on Discord. I'll give you my cell phone, and we'll meet up this weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks again, man.
All right, I was making sure I didn't Quick Key, so we can go over to KC3, NAG, Randy, it's your turn.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Anderson, how you doing, man? You've been kind of like being heard nothing from you, man. But I want to thank you for that nice insulated stainless steel coffee mug you gave me. And, yes, that totally brought my favorite toward you, and Rusty's, like, pretty jealous about it. And, him and Ernesto, took me out for tacos last night, and Rusty bought me a $3 taco. And it was actually delicious. I think it's actually on the Discord now. Great place. But I've been doing everything I can to like stop the quick miking, so please don't encourage him.
I hear you, Randy. I try not to quick key, but I can't help it sometimes. Yeah, you're welcome for the cup. I do like the little insulated cups. And speaking of tacos, the other day I got on, I think it was Southside Simplex, and I was headed home from this place called Meanwhile Brewery, and they have a taco truck there, and their little like weekly special is 5 little street tacos, and man, are they good. I've gone back now twice because of how good those tacos were. KF5 and OK.
Wait. You sent Randy a stainless steel cup. No wonder I've been getting the brunt of this quick key BS, man. So he's just buying his silence. Is that what this is?
I have no recollection of the event in question.
Oh, man. I see how it is. Give people iPads, give people cups. You're just trying to buy love, man. That's why we're your only friends. I see how you are. All right, we got Anderson. Y'all come say hi. Somebody come give him some crud. He needs a little guff. He's been messing in action way too long.
I'm not above bribing people, Rusty. That's how I keep from getting crud.
Somebody was in there. Somebody doubled. Come in.
W5LUL.
Get him, Holly.
I don't know, Rusty. I'm not sure I'm going to get him. I was just going to tell him that Dave is really good at growing peppers. So if he needs some help growing some peppers, Dave's done Tabasco and Pekin and all sorts of peppers, and my kids eat them, and then their eyes water. W5LUL, back to net.
Okay, Holly, I'm definitely going to have to hit y'all up. And y'all are close to me, too, because I don't know what peppers to grow or how to grow them or make them spicy. But last year, I had, a ton of peppers, and I would just eat them just straight off the vine. And my wife would look at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, they taste like water. They're not hot. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to follow up with y'all and find out what the heck I'm doing wrong.
Well, we're here. Anytime you want to, we can talk about it. W5LUL.
Whatever you do, don't loan him anything. You will never get it back. Ever. Don't do it. You can tell him stuff. Don't give him stuff. It'll disappear into a black hole. All right, anybody else want to talk to Anderson before we let him go? Name and call sign. Now's the time.
I'll get it back to you.
All right, man. Well, thanks for checking in with us. We miss you and we love you. And, come hang out with us on the Slacker chat because we're bored without you. All right, next up is Scott, KI5OBD. Mr. OBD, man, he's got us set up with a club brunch at the Texas Pie Company down in Kyle, Texas. I'm looking forward to that by all means, man. What's going on, Scott? Tell the club what got you into ham radio.
Howdy, Rusty. Howdy, everybody on the net. What got me into ham radio? Kind of a long story. I'll try to keep it short. Well, I posted on Discord the pictures of the radio my dad got me when I was like 8 years old. So he put the bug in my head when I was really young, and he got me that Radio Shack, one of the big Radio Shack electronic experiment kit. So it's basically a breadboard with all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I started learning about electronics early. But then, okay, fast forward about 15 years, I'm in the Navy, right? And I get a look at my first IBM PC, and I'm like, that's where I want to work. And I got a job in that department, and I started taking a correspondence course. It was from a company called the National Radio Institute out of Washington, D.C. They started back in the 30s, I think, the 1930s, and they offered correspondence courses to train people how to work in the booming new field of radio. and you'd take this correspondence course, and at the end of it, you would build a receiver. They were trying to, McGraw-Hill, the McGraw-Hill Publishing Company bought them out, and they were dying, but they tried to branch out into computers. And so I took this correspondence course. I think it's out of Omni Magazine or something like that. You know, it was an ad in the back of a magazine, literally. Let me let it drop. So I take this correspondence course, and at the end I build. It was a Packard Bell first generation 8088 or 8086 chip PC with 512K of RAM, and I worked through the whole course, did all the training, and you had lab stuff. I built a bench in my garage, and anyhow, life intervened, and I raised a family and stuff, and radio just wasn't on the radar. But then during COVID, I started gaming a lot, and for some reason I played a Batman game and a Fallout game, and both of them had radio communications in them, and I kept seeing radio, right? And one day it just hit me, why haven't I looked into ham radio? And so I got on Amazon and typed in ham radio, and that's when that's where I found my Anytone UHF mobile that I got started with, and so yeah, that's how I got into ham radio. Back to you, Rusty.
Well, very cool, man. That's quite the story of getting in there. It's interesting to see everybody kind of got bit at a young age, and it's just like, well, I got this, or I saw this, and this kind of got me, and then, I remember when I got into this, the feeling I had, it'd been a long time since I'd studied for an exam, so that was kind of fun, and it was another thing, it was, I was a computer nerd, so I all the computer stuff was fine, but it was this is electronics and RF and whole new terminology of stuff that I didn't really know. And it was fun to learn. It was wow, it's been a long time since I've tried to learn something new, and especially this much information, and kind of grasp it and take it in. So that was a lot of fun for me. And now Scott KI5OBD is the #1 frequent flyer on the TriviaNet. He's played more TriviaNets than anybody else. So thanks for coming and hanging out with us on a Friday, man. And Winter Field Day, and now we're going to get to come hang out with you and Kyle and have brunch. So, dude, I'm really glad that you're part of the club and that you're hanging out with us. Anybody got anything for Scott KI5OBD while we got him on the line?
KC3 NAG.
Come on in, Randy.
Hey man, that's okay, I'm 67 years old, okay? When I was 10 years old, I get up Sunday mornings and pull a kitchen chair over so I could get up on the top of the refrigerator to spin the dials on my dad's big AM/FM stereo shortwave radio. So, I've had an interest for a long time. But what's more interesting, it's super cool on the correspondence course of this is what you do and this is how you build a radio. I would think a cool kit like that in an unopened box on the current market could command some dollars. I know you don't have that, but what a very interesting story. And then get into computers. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. It's weird how I'm amazed that the idea didn't hit me, at least 20 or 25 years earlier. But like I said, life intervened, Navy, raised a family, and I was just busy all the time. and I was trying to build a career, so I focused more on the computer side, of course. 'Cause, I mean, that's what I got into. That's what I got into that correspondence course for in the first place. But that course had a lot to do, and it gave me a background in electronics. You know, I had some hands-on experience. I forgot a lot of that stuff, but when it came time to take a test, a lot of that stuff started coming back to me, which was really cool. And plus, I actually love taking tests. I'm a good test taker. I'm good at cramming for a test and holding on to that information at least long enough to pass the test. In fact, you know, like I told Rusty the other night, I've been ready for. I've passed the extra test, the practice test, 35 or 40 times in a row now. But I'm afraid to stop studying. I want to take the test at the meeting in April 22nd. But I'm afraid to stop studying because I'm afraid I'll forget stuff, and I want to, you know. So, yeah. Thanks for coming in, Randy. Cat 5 OBD.
Yeah, okay, cool, man. My suggestion, just chill out. If you pass it 30 or 40 times, I think you probably will pass the test. No worries. KC3 Energy, I'll click it back to net control.
See, that's what I tell everybody. I was terrible at taking tests. I'm still terrible at taking tests. I hated people like you in school. Like, I had friends, and they were like, oh, I got a 98 on the test. I'm just like, man, I'm going to take you out back. So, I'm a terrible test taker. I know, and the part that sucks is that I know what I'm talking about, and I know what's up, but when you come to taking tests, it just, there it goes. All right, well, we got Scott, Cat 5 OBD. Anybody else want to chat with him?
AI5JT.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, Scott, you know you can miss 13 questions on that 50-question exam and still pass, right?
Roger, Rick. That's one of the questions. What's the minimum passing score? It's 47 out of... No. 37. Yeah, you're right. But I want to ace it. I just want to ace it. I missed 2 on my general. I want to ace this one. Cat 5 OBD.
I get that. It's more of a personal victory than anything. I totally get that. And I look forward to hearing you announce you got your extra back to net.
Comment.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm not so sure, but you might have a future VE on your hands, man. KC3 NAG.
We can hope. We've got a pretty good group so far. I think we've got like 10 or 11 VEs, but yeah, we're always looking for new VEs. If you want to be a VE, talk to Philip, AC5G. Go ping him on the Discord. We also have the Get Licensed channel. If you want to be a VE, yeah, we would love to have you. And you don't have to do anything more than tell Philip you want to be one. So you don't have to go do the ARRL. We go through W5YI, and he can use his magical wand and make you a VE. There is some paperwork that you do have to fill out, but if you are a general or an extra class and you would like to join the VE team, it's a great time, and we've got training coming up even. So if you're curious, ping him, AC5G, or come chat over in the Get Licensed channel and tell us that you're interested, and we'll put you in the VE team channel, and we can get the training going. All right, anybody else got anything for Scott before we let him go?
Cat 5 STT, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Scott. That's really interesting about that PC you built, the 8080. I used one of those in college to learn assembly, and I think they had 7-inch floppies. And I was just wondering, what the details were of that you built.
Thanks, Dave. I think it came with one full height 3.5-inch floppy drive, and yeah, I used it. I used to type in the assembly code out of Byte magazine. You know, they'd have the assembly code in Byte magazine. You'd have to type it character by character out of the magazine. So that was a lot of fun. But once you got done, if you didn't typo a single character, you got something fun on the screen. Yeah, those were the days, man. That was takes me back. That was fun. Cat 5 OBD.
Yeah, there's something about programming at that level that you really learn about, computers when you're using assembly. Cat 5 SCT.
I love it. I graduated in '95, and we learned how to program Pascal. Good old Borderbin Pascal. Anybody else got anything for Scott OBD before we let him go? Nothing heard. Well, all right, Scott. Thanks for putting together the club brunch again, for those of you that want to know. Saturday, April 8th at 10:30 a.m. The club is going to go to brunch down at the Texas Pie Company in Kyle, Texas. All the details are in the social meetups channel. We've got something on the web for the details as well. Something else that's a cool note is that Scott's sister owns the Texas Pie Company, so we will be supporting a honest-to-God local business, and I can totally get behind that. I grew up in the restaurant business, so that is even cooler, that it's not just some random person or random restaurant. We're actually helping out somebody that's part of the club, so how cool is that? And if you haven't seen Scott share, you need to tune in on the Friday night video nets. Scott has the absolute coolest chair with the LEDs. Yeah, so Scott wins on the cool factor on all of that as well. All right, Scott. Well, have a good week, man. We'll see you tomorrow for the trivia net. We got Miresto running the trivia net tomorrow, so it's sure to be a blast. All right, we got Kent, KI5 RBT up next, but before we go to Kent, we got to tell everybody you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, and my call sign is WZ5BBS. I am your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. For more details on the club, or figure out how to become a member, join us on the Discord like Bus did, or Green. We've had several people join us on Discord tonight. Join us over at n5oak.org. You can join the club, you can donate money right there, and you can also join us on the Discord. We got Kent, KI5RBT, our very own trivia robot, hanging out with us on Thursday night. Kent, how has your week been, and what got you into ham radio, man?
Thanks, Rusty. The week's been great. I've been at the Texas DIR Information Security Forum for the past couple of days working a booth. I was a booth babe. Had a lot of great contacts, saw a lot of old friends from my 24 years in the state. I got started in ham radio, I guess I have to throw it all the way back to the 70s when my dad had a Cobra CB radio. Then after that, I had CB radios up through the 80s. And I got into radio scanning quite a bit, probably in the 90s. I'm going to let it drop for a sec. And I think it was about 2.5, 3 years ago, I found a scanner, a unit in Bearcat, a 125 AT scanner on Craigslist that I bought. And I liked it. I was listening to aircraft and stuff. And then, of course, like you mentioned, snowpocalypse happened. And I was without communications for 5 days, and I realized I have an anxiety disorder where I can't communicate with other people. So that's really what triggered it. Now I have like, I don't know, 6 ham radios and, 5 scanners and all sorts of stuff, so I've kind of got overboard, but that's what got me into it. I guess it's been a thread throughout my history for a long time. KI5 RBT, back to net.
So out of your 6 ham radios or so, which one's your favorite?
I have an old school Yaesu 991. It's not the A model, it's the FT 991 that I purchased from another ham up in Georgetown. And it is built like a battleship, and it's great, it works, and I'm very happy with it. KI5 RBT.
Kent also got moved into a brand new shack and is getting all spread out. He's got a bunch of fun toys too. I'm kind of jealous of your little workshop of nerdness over there. What do you think about Ben? Are we going to get Ben to get a license, or do you think that that dog or that ship's already sailed?
I don't want to think that it's sailed. I think somebody else is going to have to encourage him because Dad pushing you is going to be just like, Dad, leave me alone, just shut up and leave me alone. But I don't think he sees the benefit. He's not been playing trivia with me. He's been here, but he hasn't been playing trivia. So I think he's just kind of moved on. He's doing a lot of art, and I made the giant mistake of buying him his own 3D printer, so that's what he's doing, is going in there and printing subversive garbage on that thing. So hopefully I can bring him back, and hopefully he sees the good. KI5 RBT.
Right on, man. He's got some styling blue hair as well. Hopefully he's still rocking that. Well, we got the Trivia Robot, KI5 RBT, hanging out with us on the Thursday net. Anybody want to come say hi to Kent? Now's the time to do it.
W5, how you are?
Speak, man, and let me know how Miresto do tomorrow on the Trivia net. I'm going to be out in the boondocks in East Texas, so I'm not going to be anywhere around. Next on the list is Rick, AI5JT, and if you ever need to get Rick on the repeater, all you got to do is start talking about food. He will magically show up. Rick, how are you, sir? How's your week, and what got you into ham radio?
AI5JT. Let's see. Week is good. Busy at work. I was literally sending an email while you guys were chatting. I got to talk to at another social thing this evening, which kept me off the net. Talked to exam books. I'm trying to get general exam book is in July. Someone willing to commit to taking the test soon. Pause. I got interested in ham radio as a teenager, like a young teenager. I did a very bad physics. Learned enough about electronics to make power amplifiers for CB radios that other people paid me to do. I only did this once. But that's like, no, you don't do that. Pause. But I didn't have the discipline to learn Morse code, which was required back then. And so I never got around to get my ham license. And then, I don't know, I got a fire lit under me back in October of last year, and then started studying and then took the test. Back to net.
All right, so October of last year, that's pretty impressive, because you took all 3. We got to be your VEs for your test. So I'm curious, how did you meet Joe Fisher and become the getter of things? Because you've got some neat stuff that just magically showed up in the back of your car. And it seems like you would have had to been friends with these old men for a long time. Are you just like the new sucker that takes all the stuff? Because I know how that works as well. They're just like, yeah, give it to him. So how did you become the getter of things? I'm curious and a little jealous.
AI5JT. Yeah, this is kind of like that general class exam book that I'm talking about that's about to expire. It's like, if you take this, you're kind of taking on a commitment. I've spent a small fortune on this so-called free equipment, and that's a whole other story. I'll give you an example. That power supply, which looks like it's going to be a very nice lab quality supply, up to 40 amps max, up to 40 volts max, adjustable on both with current limiting. That's a nice safety feature. Pause. But it doesn't work. But it's relatively simple. So there's probably some bad pass transistors, maybe a bad SCR. I think I can bring it back to life, but that's it'll take some time, more time than money than anything. Back to net.
That's totally fair, man. Nothing in life is free, right? That's what they say. Well, we got Rick, AI5JT, with us tonight. Anybody want to come in and chat with Rick? Now is your chance. Well, I think I put them all to sleep, Rick. So, sorry about that. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, man. And it's been good getting to hang out with you. It was fun meeting up with you at the Old Man Breakfast, and then also bumping into you at the Fox Hunts. So it's a whole lot of fun, and I have a feeling we're going to be bumping into each other a lot. So, welcome to the club, man, and keep with it, because it sounds like you're a whole lot farther ahead in the hardware game than I'll ever be. We got Philip, AC5G. He's coming up. Philip, how's your week been? What you been up to, and what got you into this craziness?
Hey, Rusty. Not too much going on. Jeffrey came by a little earlier and picked up the box from me, so it sounds like Ashley's going to be hiding one this weekend for us. So looking forward to going out and doing that this weekend. Take a break and let me know if I'm not coming in, by the way.
Oh, you're coming in just fine, man.
Thanks. Yeah, there was a little lightning earlier, so I took the rooftop antenna off and going back up right now. But yeah, to into ham radio, I have been in electronics since a little kid. But as far as ham radio, I never got my license until last year, a little over a year after. And was playing around with an SDR with my brother-in-law, and just started using that to random like that. And eventually found FT8 and started decoding that, and was getting Australia and stuff from just a wire I had hanging out the window. So back to net.
Roger, man. Well, you're breaking up there just a little, and we weren't holding the repeater, but we got the majority of it. Well, very cool, man. Yeah, it's always interesting. I remember once I had my extra, and then I had everything set up in the 5-watt whisper, and seeing that people all around the globe could hear 5 watts coming out of this random thing in my backyard. Talk about suck you in. I was just like, wow, this is dumb. This is so cool. So that definitely sucked me in, and then FT8, and then, and just kind of down the rabbit hole I went. So it was a lot of fun. So for those of y'all that don't know, Philip, AC5G, this is our VE team leader. He is the man. He and Ernesto and I started doing VEing for Jim and the Austin Club. I don't know. It's been about 3 or 4 months at least. And we've had a really good time doing it, and Philip is very good at being chair number one. God bless you, Philip, for that. Philip has to do all the paperwork. He has to sign everything and write everything and copy everything down and take all the money, and like he's the brains of the bunch. And then Ernesto is always seat 2. And Ernesto can't count for shit, and so I'm seat number 3, and I have to keep Ernesto in check for some reason. But it's been a whole lot of fun, and we've just been kind of chatting, and Philip wanted to do it. So here we are, we're doing it. Our first session is April 22nd. I'm looking forward to it. Anderson donated tablets. We've had all of the VEs. We've got a lot of extra VEs. We've got guys that weren't VEs become VEs. So it's been a really cool club project and got a lot of us together. I got to say, I'm really proud of the club. Like, we're going to start doing them at least after every club meeting, and there has been some discussions about doing them online every month. So we're going to try and build this up and get people in, and Philip has really done the brunt of the legwork and getting us signed up and finding who, what, when, and where. So thank you, Philip, for making that happen. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it on the 22nd as well. We got Philip AC5G hanging out with us. Anybody want to chat with Philip? Come with your name and call sign. I have totally put everybody to sleep. Well, for those of you that are lurking while you're working, if you want to be a part of the VE group, go ping us on the Get Licensed channel and tell us that you want to. We've got room for all the VEs in the world, and like I said, we're about to get some training, hopefully, so that we kind of know what's going on and get everybody in order. But thank you, Philip, again, for making this happen. I'm really excited about it. Next on the list is Dave, KI5STT. Dave, man, what's going on? How's your week been? And we kind of know what got you into ham radio, but we'd like to hear it from you.
KF5SGT. Hey, Rusty. Hello, everybody. What's new? Week-wise, just work stuff. Not much to report there. As far as getting into ham radio, I got a late start. My dad was in the Air Force in communications, and I had a lot of fun listening to what he could tell me, he was clear to tell me about what he did. And he bought me and my brother some CB walkie-talkies and showed us how to swap the crystals out to get different channels. But I'm a mechanical guy, so it didn't stick. But as you heard, Holly's grandfather was a big ham, so that's basically, I attribute that what got me into it. So K5STT.
Right on, man. Yeah, I had walkie-talkies growing up as a kid. I always loved them. I wish they worked more, but yeah, I had the walkie-talkies. That's like the kiddo gateway drug into this, I guess, is the walkie-talkies. Well, very cool, man. So I think we have a fox hunt this weekend. Are you and Holly looking at maybe starting to come on our fox hunt escapades? Are you still just thinking about that?
I'd like to give it a shot. Drag Holly along with me. I've got a Yagi, tape measure Yagi to help, and hopefully maybe we'll do it this weekend after the Pie Club thing.
Well, I will save you a lot of driving. The Pie Club, the Texas Pie Company is Saturday, April the 8th. So don't go down there on Saturday. You can, but nobody else will be there. So we do have, I think Jeffrey or Ashley is hiding something. So maybe the battery will be working longer in this one. and then you'll actually get a chance to go look at it. But, the Old Man Breakfast is in full swing, and you never know. Ashley and Jeffrey tend to like South Austin, so you might be better if you stay put there. But fair enough, man. Well, we're glad you're in the ham radio community, and we want to see if anybody else wants to talk to Dave. Anybody want to say hi to Dave? Have I put everybody to sleep yet? Come in here and say hi to Dave. Something NLK, go ahead.
I was snoring through that one, Dave. Rusty's right, man. He put everybody to sleep, but I just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Anderson. It's good to hear you. KF5SCT.
Anderson's just buttering you up because he wants to know your pepper secrets. If you didn't know how to do peppers, man, he wouldn't have said anything. I know how Anderson works, so just keep that in mind. Charge him for your secrets, and only give him half of them. Make him work for the other half, Dave.
The world runs on bribes.
Amen. It doesn't work on Duncan. All right. Anybody else want to come say hi to Dave and prove to me I haven't put everybody to sleep? Show up with your name and call sign.
This is KC3 NAG, Randy, Anderson Mill, coming in on the flagship 320, because I know I hadn't logged in.
This is...
No, Cody, not yet.
My bad.
I was waiting for a long pause so I don't get yelled at for quick keying. Get in there, Randy. Say hi to Dave.
Boy, there's a lot of noises going on here. Say hi. Hi, Dave. How you doing, man? This is Randy, KC3 NAG.
KC3 NAG. How's it going? I believe we met at the last field day, so it's good to hear you. KF5SCT.
Hey, that could be because winter field day is the only field day I've been to, and so yeah, if you were there, I'm sure I ran into you one way, shape, form, or another. I went down with Ray BZI, hanging out at his camper there, and so yeah, probably saw you, man.
I think BZI taught a valuable lesson on how to start fires with Doritos, so that was interesting.
Well, I actually missed that, but, anybody can Google that on YouTube, no big deal. What was more interesting was his crazy receiver and transmitter that were in B-27 bombers and one of the other bombers, and this power supply he had actually its own generator on top of it that was putting out 10 bazillion volts or something, and he's got about 15 wires jammed in the connector, and this thing's going woo, spark, wah, 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 all over, and so we pulled the connector over, and it was several skinned wires into it, and we just put a little duct tape onto it, plugged it back in. Thing worked fine, man. You want to watch out for that cagey Ray.
Understood. KI5 STT.
All right, anybody else got anything for Dave before we let him go? All right, well, Dave and Holly, thanks for checking in with us on Thursday night. And thanks to Randy and Cody for proving that I haven't put everybody to sleep. Next up is Cody, KI5YLS, but we're going to make him wait. Because, you know, why not? He's the last on the list, and I got an ID. And let everybody know you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our club call sign is N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. It's almost 11 o'clock. This is usually how this net rolls. For more details about the club or figuring out how you can be a member, join us online at n50ak.org. And we'll let anybody in. Cody is proof of that. KI5YLS, yellow liver spots. What's going on up in Fort Hood, Texas? And what got you into ham radio? Was it Uncle Ray?
Hey, Rusty. Yeah, I know if y'all let me in, y'all let just about anybody in. This is Cody KI5YLS. Not a whole lot going on down here at Fort Hood. I've either been working, looking for a second job, or been at the club. I've been having a good time. I've been going just about every Friday night now because the club that I go to is a country club, so it's you can go to like slow dance and line dance and stuff like that, and that's my workout for the week. I go there to work out because that is definitely a workout. Although I think I balance it off with the alcohol I do consume. So, let me let it reset real quick. And what got me into ham radio? I was just about to say, you should know the answer to that one, because it was in fact my uncle, Ray K5BZI, who got me into ham radio. Actually, it was that and one summer field day I came to. I think it was a summer one. I sat down under the club's name and got my very first ever contact up in the Netherlands. So that was cool. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Let me let it reset again. So then, from that moment forward, I've always thought, yeah, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. But I always put it off, I was like, I got more important things to worry about, like bills, working, you know, waiting to turn 21, stuff like that. And so then my uncle finally gave up on me for a little bit, and then, I don't know, just out of the random blue, I was just like, let me get my license so I can join the net with you people. And, so here I am, and got my license, last year? Yeah, last year. God, I can't remember when I got them now. And, been here ever since, and been enjoying it. Back to net.
Well, man, when you said country club, I thought you were hobnobbing and playing golf. But it sounds like your country club is the reason you got to get a second job as well, as you got you're spending money on all the beer and keeping all the ladies in line. So I feel you on that one. Well, man, good luck on finding a second job and something else to go around there. We got Cody, KI5YLS, hanging out with us. Anybody want to come and give him some loving? Come with your name and call sign.
KC3, NAG.
Go ahead, Benjamin Franklin.
You got it, man. And actually, I was off the radio for like 5 minutes, and I came back on, and I heard you say something about check-ins, and next thing I know, I was talking to Dave, so I was caught off guard, but hey, Dave, cool, man. Yeah, Cody, so like, what do you got for radio? What's going on, man? How are you getting into the 320? What's happening?
What's going on, man? Hey, so I have a radio. It's a little Radio Shack radio. It's nothing too much to it. I can't think of what type of radio it is now, but it's the one that Ray gave me. And then the antenna, of course, you know, the one that Ray gave me. I have that, and if I probably tried to boot it on, I could probably, possibly hit the net, but it's currently sitting on the other side of my room, and didn't really feel like trying to move it back over to my computer right now. But I'm off tomorrow, so I may rearrange my room a little bit to where I can make it work. So right now, as of tonight, I am working on Echolink. Let me let it reset. Working off of Echolink, and that's pretty much what I usually do when I hit the net, because sometimes the way my antenna is right now, sometimes I can hit the net, sometimes I can't. Just depends on propagation and the weather. So, with it being so nasty here with rain and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't have been able to hit it tonight. But, yeah, and I, real quick, wanted to make a comment to Rusty that, definitely keeping the women in check. I've started to become known up there as teaching people how to slow dance. Well, two-step. Let me reset one more time. I pretty much go up there and I two-step with everyone, if anyone who wants to two-step. I've gone age as low as 18 and age as high as, I want to say the highest I've danced with is 59. And that 59-year-old, she kept up pretty well, probably better than some of the 18-year-olds. So, yeah, I've pretty much danced with everyone, and people who don't know how to dance, I'm like, well, I'll teach you, and da-da-da-da, and so there's always that. And, Randy, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm using right now is Echolink. Back to Randy.
Well, I don't know what to say there, man. I mean, you're talking about it like earlier, and it's like, you know, I was kind of like a joke. It's like, hey, teach me, because like, seriously, I don't know, and like, you know, why not, you know? And you've since expounded on that too. Cool, man, cool. But what I did want to say for any of you out there who do not know, Cody is up in Fort Hood, okay? So, yes, he's coming in Echolink. But him and I have talked a little bit before, but it was probably on the 380, which is the Florence repeater, which covers a huge amount of area north of Austin and right up into, you know, all that Fort Hood area and east and west. It's actually a fabulous repeater. There's almost nobody onto it, a couple guys, and I had talked to the owner, and he's like, just use it, man. So, you know, all I wanted to say was, hey, Cody's out in Fort Hood, but he has been able to, like, ping down here into northeast Austin. Back to you, Cody.
Yeah, and I know at one point that Ray, K5Biz, that I had talked to, I think it was Rusty or Ernesto. Maybe y'all can rejuvenate my brain about it, but talk to one of them about getting in contact with the owner of that repeater and seeing if could somehow hook up a way to where people here in Fort Hood and stuff like that can use that repeater to access the net off their radio, so we're not having to jump on Echolink and deal with the 1 second delay or whatever it was. I know Ray talked about that at one time. Also, let me reset real quick. Rusty, I checked in for myself, but I'm also checking in for Ray because he is working tonight, cannot meet the net. But I told him that I would tell everybody that he says hi. So Ray K5BZI says hi. Back to net.
Comment?
I don't know what happened to Rusty, but I mean, I guess go ahead.
AI5JT, Rusty, are you still with us?
He's talking about everybody else falling asleep. Maybe he was one that fell asleep. KI5YLF.
This is KB5MPJ, Jason and Buda.
Hey Jason, it's Cody, KI5YLF. I was currently the one that was was being checked in, and we cannot get a hold of the net controller, Rusty, WZ5 BBS, so we're trying to see if he's still around. Rusty, you still there?
Yeah, man, I'm running the net. I got Ray, Randy, and Jason checked in on the net. I don't know what you're doing, but you hang out over there on Echolink. We're going to see if we want any more check-ins on the net tonight. W5LUL. We got Holly in for a recheck. Anybody else?
Kilo Alpha 5, Delta.
Holy crap, we got Kyle working late. Hey, Kyle. All right, anybody else?
AI5JT, I was talking with Cody when you suddenly just went off and started another check-in round. Back to net.
All right, well, that's interesting. What repeater are you on, Rick?
I think it's the KE5RS, the Leander repeater.
Comment.
Yeah, come on in, comment.
Yeah, KC3NAG. Yeah, it totally sounded like you doubled with Cody, and you gotta think, man, like, there's like 2 second delay for the echo, so, yeah, I think that's what that racket was.
Roger, roger. Who else we got want to check in on round number 3? Company name and call sign.
KF5YLS, recheck so we can try again.
Well, we'll just go back to you, Cody. What else you got to say? KI5YLS, get in here. Let's finish up your conversation.
I was just gonna say, I was just checking back in because there were some people who were wanting to talk, and then just, yeah, you went quiet, thought maybe you were one of the ones that fell asleep, and then next thing we knew, you were doing another round of check-ins. So I figured I'd recheck to see who wanted to chit-chat or anything.
Very good, sir. We got Cody, KI5YLS. Anybody want to chat with Cody? Come on with your name and call sign.
AI5JT.
Go ahead, Rick.
So Cody, with all the dance lessons that you're giving away for free, does the club occasionally comp you a free drink? Because I kind of think they should. Back to you, Cody.
You know what? Out of all the times that I've gone so far, I have not thought about that. I think maybe now I may have to try that. No, no free drinks, sadly. It'd be nice. But I did talk to the owner of the club, and he told me, because me and him are cool, we know each other, that for being a loyal or a regular time customer, that one night when it's not so slammed busy, which almost never happens, it's usually always slammed busy, to let him know, and he would buy me a shot on the house. So there is that. So I guess that sort of counts for all the lessons I give out, but they really don't know that I give out lessons. I just ask a girl if they want to dance and pull them out on the floor, and if they say I don't know how to, I teach them there on the floor. So yeah, it is what it is.
That's cool. So are you like physically on forehead, or more like, you know, Colleen? Back to you, Cody.
The technicality to that answer would be I am on Fort Hood. The reason I say technicality is because there is a couple of neighborhoods here on Fort Hood that is called off-post housing, that it's Fort Hood, but they've opened it up to civilians. It's not directly on Fort Hood. But they've opened those neighborhoods up to civilians. There's a couple of them. One of them is called Pershing Park, and that is the one, excuse me, I had to belch. That is one of the ones that I had to, or that I am living in. So we get to live on post, but it's off post housing, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure if that exactly makes sense or not.
That makes sense. Do you drink coffee at all? And if so, have you ever been to Black Rifle Coffee there in Killeen? Back to you.
I do not drink coffee. Matter of fact, I don't really go to Starbucks. The only time I go to Starbucks, or if I do go to Starbucks, I get the refreshers, because those are bomb. Those are amazing. But as for the Black Rifle Coffee, I personally myself have not been, because I do not drink coffee. However, my mom has drank Black Rifle Coffee, and she says it's the best coffee she's ever had. She said the only thing that beats it is home brewed coffee. But she said as for a brand, it's probably the best she's ever tasted. And so she absolutely loves it.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Cody. I'm gonna turn in, and we'll see if anybody else wants to come in and chat with you. This is AI5JT. I'm clear. I'm gonna check in for the night. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Night, Rick. All right. Anybody else want to come chat with the Yellow Liver Spots? Come with your name and call sign. All right. We're officially putting you out to pasture, Cody. So there it is. We got round number 3, beginning with Ray, K5BZI. Let's see if Uncle Ray is out there at least listening. Uncle Ray, are you with us? working hard. All right, well, next on the list is Randy in KC3NAG. Randy, good to have you on the net tonight, man. What's going on? What got you into ham radio?
Actually, I was like 10 years old. Told the story before, like Sunday mornings, pull the kitchen chair out so I could get up on top of, so I could reach up on top of the refrigerator to my dad's like really cool blow punk tube AM FM and shortwave radio, and spin the dial up the shortwave stuff, and I listen to these ham guys and like New Hampshire and Vermont and stuff, and I was living like up in, North New York, and it's like, this is cool, and tried to pursue that a little bit in my 20s, had an interesting job as a Sunday radio operator for New York State Department of Transportation, and I don't know, finally got a license a little bit ago.
So what did you do as a radio operator for the Department of New York?
Well, so, I was like, 20, early 20-something, small town, but the highway department was right there because we're like the county seat and whatnot, and everybody knows everybody, and someone goes like, oh, hey, they're looking for somebody over here, and I'm like, yeah, okay, go over there, I get a job, and, we laid a little blacktop in the summer, and, I don't know, did a lot of routine maintenance on the highways, but in the wintertime, we ran a split shift, and, I had to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was done at 12:30. I did that 4 days a week, but they didn't have anybody to run the radio on Sundays. Let me let it drop for a sec. So, since I'm the new guy on the job, they're like, oh, you only got to, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, X days, and we'll give you a couple days off. And then Sundays, you're here from 8 to 5, you sit in this cozy room, there's a couch, there's this big radio. It's connected to the rest of the state. Around 2 o'clock, they will give a weather report. This is how you fill it out. And if anybody calls you, if the sheriff calls or whatnot, I'm the only person in this whole entire building. And there's headquarters there. And, if somebody, sheriff called, hey, it's icy over here. I just had to, call somebody and go, hey, it's icy over there. So, I got to play radio, and at the same time, I bought one of those Radio Shacks electronics, kind of sort of how to do your license thing.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. I think if I was in my 20s and connected to a radio that was connected to the rest of the state, I think that'd probably kind of lure me in as well. Well, we got Randy, KC3NAG. He's lurker extraordinaire. He is also up at all hours of the night. So if you have a little bit of the insomnia and you need somebody to chat with from, good 9 p.m. till 4 in the morning, you can find him monitoring the frequencies. Anybody want to say hi to Randy before we let him go? Come on with your name and call sign. Thanks for checking in, man. And we'll have to go get some tacos again. That was fun hanging out with you. Next on the list is Jason, KB5MPJ. Jason, we got Green checked in, KJ5AIG. He checked in on a first round of short time check-ins way back at 8 o'clock something. And we've got him on the Discord now, man. So congratulations, you finally converted him, and we got him in the club. What's going on, man?
KB5MPJ. Yeah, I actually saw Green tonight, and he told me that he checked in, so I thought that was pretty cool. I tried to get him checked in last weekend and just didn't, or last Thursday, just didn't quite work out. But I saw him tonight. We went climbing at the Austin Bouldering Project. It's a big bouldering gym here in Austin, and it's something that he and I both enjoy doing. And so we got there at 8, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I checked into the net from the parking lot. I was already inside, so I figured I would get on later tonight. This thing usually goes pretty late. But yeah, I'm pretty excited that he got licensed too. You know, he's a electronics guy, and I always figured it might be up his alley, so I started inviting him to some of the club events and everything so he could see what it was all about. As far as what got me into ham radio, it's the Chicken Band. It's 11 meters. When I was a kid, I got my first set of kids' walkie-talkies. Saw some other kids playing with them and decided that I wanted them. And I got the Radio Shack Space Patrol walkie-talkies, and they were terrible, but I managed to have some fun with them. But I really kind of got hooked on radio when I got a set of GE CB walkie-talkies, 3-watt walkie-talkies, and they had like a 5-foot telescoping antenna. They were giant, but they actually worked and got out. And you know, I noticed I could actually talk to people around town. There were a lot of people on 11 meters around Dallas-Fort Worth back in the 80s. And I enjoyed, you know, kind of got some friends into it, you know, found ways to get them on radios, whether it was CBs that had been in their parents' cars that we rigged up, and, you know, just kind of figured out how to make it work. And graduated from the walkie-talkies to mobile radios when the guy offered to sell me a radio on the air. And so bought 2 radios from this guy on different occasions, and kind of gray market, shady, you know, probably shady deals, but it got me into the radio hobby, and I eventually got my ham ticket in 1990 as a novice, and that I've had KB5MPJ ever since. Got out of the hobby for a long time, I mean really long time, probably, you know, in the mid-90s, and then got back into it probably in like 2016 or, you know, a few years ago, got back into it, and, you know, I'm definitely enjoying it now. I figured out a lot of things, and a lot of things I never really understood when I was a younger ham and a CB operator. It's been good to kind of figure out how propagation and antennas really work. So yeah, that's how I got into it, from walkie-talkies, kids toys, to CB, to ham radio. KB5MPJ, back to net control.
So there's definitely a thread here, man. The walkie-talkies is the gateway drug for the ham radio. Like that's definitely it. Like the walkie-talkies get you in, and then of course the CB. I don't know how mainstream CB is. I know like all the guys that I know that like 11 meters were into CB when they were kids. So you know, maybe you just have to have one in the house is also the way it rolls. But well, very cool, man. Thanks for sharing the story. That's a fun one. We got Jason, KB5MPJ. Anybody want to say hi to him? Now's the time. Come with your name and call sign.
C3, LG.
Si, Senor Andy.
Gracias, senor. Hey, Jason. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. And I don't think I've ever got to throw out that, like, yeah, I got some CB background in me, too. So, you know, that was, you know, the first, like, oh, hey, I actually have a radio I can speak on and can communicate with people. And what interested me so much was, you know, Skipland, when the band just went crazy and you're hearing people from hundreds, if not millions of miles away, and I'm like, Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, back in the 80s, at least in the late 80s, the solar cycle was really strong, and I could hear people coming in from all around, and I mostly talked to people around town. It was really big. Like everybody had them in their cars, and everybody in high school, and even the kids. Some of the kids had them, and every night you could turn it on. People would be on. A lot of young people would be on the air, and it was just a lot of fun as a kid. And when I finally got one, I think I'd already become a ham by the time I discovered that I could work DX on a CB, because I actually had a decent antenna. I had a butternut antenna, and I'd hook the CB up to it sometimes. And once I got SSB, or a radio that had single sideband, I could really work some DX, and I still have that radio with SSB. I've got it installed in my Jeep, and with the way the bands have been, I can drive around. I've got no illegal amplifier or anything, just 4 watts AM, 12 watts on sideband, 4-foot fire stick antenna, and I can roll down the street and talk to people all over the U.S., Canada, Jamaica. It's still a lot of fun. KB5 MPJ.
Yeah, Jason. Your stuff is really cool, and you really know what's going on, man. Really sweet. But I just want to say howdy, and try to keep Rusty up a little bit longer, because he's probably getting sleepy. So yeah, hey, always a pleasure to talk to you, Jason. KC3 Energy. I'll jump it back to net control.
Well, at this place, we got to get this. We're getting close to midnight, or we're not close, but I think Ray made it to I think 12:05. So at this point, I got to stretch and see, if we can keep it going. Anybody else got anything for Jason? KB5 MPJ before we let him go. Nothing heard. Well, thanks for checking in, Jason. I was hoping we'd hear from you, and thanks again for getting Green in the club and getting him licensed. That's super cool. Well, next up we got to recheck. It's Holly, W5LUL. If she's not asleep already, Holly, what you got for us?
Hey, Rusty. This is W5LUL. So what I would like to know is, if you're not doing trivia tomorrow, are you going to play with us, or are you taking a vacation day? What's going on?
It's funny. Mireya really wants me to play, and I think that's the only reason that she signed up to help. But no, I will be in East Texas acting like a complete drunken fool with all of my friends. A buddy of mine has a ranch out there, so it's a couple times a year we get together. So I will be in the sticks, and I've already told Miresto that if things go south, man, it's just the way it's going to be, because I am no cell phone, no nada, and I won't be in any mood to talk probably when the Trivia Net starts. So I will be MIA, but one of these days I will get to play with y'all, and you'll see exactly what an idiot I am.
Well, I would like for you to play with us at some point. That would be a lot of fun, and I'm not bringing an extra 16 people tomorrow, so we don't have that complication to deal with.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that was hilarious. I'm just like, really? I've been doing this for a year and a half, and literally the first time I take off and let you run this thing, you get 50-something people. I was just like, how in the world is this possible? So, all right, well, it'll be fun tomorrow, no doubt. And yes, I will eventually play. I'm trying to talk Ernesto into doing it at least once a month. So we'll see if we can make that happen, but you never know. All right, anybody else got anything for Holly before we let her go? Nothing heard. Well, thanks for the recheck and checking in. Yes, I will be